Good morning, Xbox. Welcome, everybody, to the 23rd episode of Good Morning Xbox. I'm your host, Mr. Boom Boom Kaboom. It's Newf Nukem in the room. Well, welcome to everybody. Thank you for being here. And, of course, to my Dynamite panel who managed to get up despite the time change. So that is always a good sign that we're going to be off to a good show, even though we might be a little bit tired for the first little bit. I'm sure that coffee or the Percocets or whatever might kick in here eventually. So,
Oh, jeez. Wow.
no, don't worry, I'm not on that
Wow.
stuff. But hey, yeah, let's kind of get. We got a few topics. They could certainly be debated and certainly a bit heated, all depending. But the first one is going to be about Forza Horizon 5. Its amazing scores, the review bombs, and everything in between. So let's introduce our fabulous panel first. So we'll start the way they appear on my screen. We will start with the Eternal One. Shaddai is in the house. A fresh new look behind him this week. What's going on, Shaddai?
Actually, I keep moving from one cell to the next, so just a little bit, a little bit upgraded.
Is that a padded cell on the next to you?
What, this thing?
Yes, he's been upgraded from cell block B.
Yeah,
There you
pretty
go.
much. No, but good morning.
Oh, I thought he
everybody.
was reaching for the soap for a second. I was
No, you're trying to say for the case for the soap. No, good morning, everybody. Good morning, panel, and welcome back for another Good Morning Xbox. So far, so good. I'm ready for the news.
Absolutely. Getting over to our next panel member. It is Axel1324.
Good morning, everybody. Man, I'm excited to get started. Let's get it going.
Absolutely. No delays, but we got him for days. Here he is, the man I was concerned would not wake up this morning, Cerebral Paul.
No, this is the time of year I get that extra hour sleep, not the springtime when you're going to have to worry about it, dude. So I'm here. Let's go.
Yeah, we should be a bit more refreshed. We actually got an extra hour. Coolcat Terri is in the house supporting the N7. Yes, it is Mass Effect Day. Speaking of, I just went back to Mass Effect Trilogy and finally capped off the very first game, which, fraudly enough, I did not finish the first game back when it existed. I think I ended off the first game, if I recall back, when I was fighting, what's his name? Saren, fighting Saren. I think that's as far as I got and never finished it off. So I was glad to put that one to bed, and now it's on to ME2. But anyway, over to Coolcat Terri. How you been?
Been doing fantastic. I'm ready for the show. I had a good weekend so far. I mean, yesterday I spent the day out at a local car show raising money for a cardiac charity. So it's weekend so far.
Good. So 2 birds with 1 stone. Got to see lots of great cars and doing it for a good cause. That is a bonus. Awesome stuff. And last but not least, yes, the handsome one himself, Scrub Nurse in the house.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Glad to be here. Let's have some fun. Yeah, we got that extra hour to sleep in for those who could get it. Some just used it to game more. So,
Yeah.
hopefully you have your coffee and ready to go have some fun. Let's do it. Let's go.
Absolutely. See lots of people playing Forza Horizon 5 early through the early access thing for those who managed to pay some extra dough. Over 800,000 people, I heard, as of last night, which is absolutely astonishing. That is going to be another aspect of this topic as well, as we're going to get right into it. But let's acknowledge the chat first and foremost, get into it real quick. Doggy Dog is in the house, and he comes in hot and heavy with the first super chat of the morning. Good morning, all. Forza Horizon 5 is incredible. I will take your word for it. Everyone so far has been incredible. I can't believe they keep raising the bar somehow. So good stuff. And of course, the extra time in the oven certainly helped. And again, those games don't come out yearly, so they're a little bit harder to get sick of than some other stuff. Casket Repair is here this morning. What is happening, Mr. Casket? I see Matty Burns is in the house. We got our good brother Fastback from the NLG podcast. What's going on, brother? Good to see you here as well. Nix is hanging out with us this morning. We've got Cray Simmons. Cray, what are you doing, man? Got to hang out and play some games with you sometime soon, or I got to get you on a podcast. It's been way too long. Who else we got in here this morning? I think we might be. Oh, we got Black Card number 1. What's happening, Black Card? Good to see you here. And I think we're caught up. All right, guys. Well, hang on to your pantyhose or whatever you got next to you because we're ready to roll into this one. Yes, roll indeed. Forza Horizon 5 is out and it is setting the world on fire. Of course, you got your lovers, you got your haters. Some people never cared for racing games, and this one may still not sway their opinion. But from everything I've heard, this game looks like it's absolute fire. It's getting great review scores. People in the public are loving it. They're taking pictures, it seems like, at every opportunity. Like I said, the scores speak for themselves. The fans love it. Let's find out from our panel who has played it and what do you think about the great reception. This is several games now, by the way, with Xbox. We've had Flight Simulator scoring well, Psychonauts scoring well, Age of Empires 4 coming out and scoring pretty well and getting a good reception, and now this game. So basically 4 decent games right in a row. Good sign as more games are in the pipeline for the Xbox platforms. Who wants? I won't go in any particular order. Who wants to jump in first on Forza Horizon 5? Anyone here consider themselves a Forza Horizon aficionado, like a super fan, and already have played this game?
I definitely played this game. I saw Cerebral Paul also was playing it. First thing I want to say, congratulations to Xbox, and as far as putting these games day and date in Game Pass, because too many people are saying, "Ooh, Game Pass fodder." Nobody wants to play these games for free. This game does not come out until the 9th. So that means pretty much, unless you got a free code or something this or your game sharing, I don't know how it works, but pretty much everybody that's playing now has either paid the full $100 for either the digital or physical copy, or you've paid the $50 price to get early access. So these are people who are paying to play a free game in Game Pass. So that just shows you the demand for a great game and what you can do when you do it right. Also, it shows FOMO. So a lot of people, so they will not be behind. They will play a game early so they don't feel like one of those people who are so behind they just can't wait. For those who don't know, you can play Forza right now if you have Game Pass and not spend $100, because I've been asked that in different podcasts and on Twitter. You can get the premium upgrade for it is $49.99, $50. But since you have Game Pass, it's a $10 discount. So you don't even pay the $50 for it. And you have access to the game. You have access to the 2 DLCs that they come out with. And you have access to all the car packs that come out pretty much for the remainder of when the game came out. This happened also with Forza Horizon 4. It's well worth it. It's cheaper than getting the DLC separately, and then you just steady getting car packs as it goes, adding car packs. This game is fun. It's better than 4, and I thought 4 was pretty great. They kind of brought the Horizon festivals back like they did in 3, where you could actually have more than one festival event area, and it deals with, dirt racing, road racing, all the different ones. You have a different festival for, and you can bounce around. Another thing that I thought was kind of interesting for the people who have played the game before, especially 4, is they tied in 4 to 5. Basically, you're the driver that left from Horizon 4 with a British accent, and now you're in Mexico. Doing that. So because I use this, because there's not that many faces, so I use the same face that I did for 4. So basically it's almost like the same person moving from Horizon 4 going to Horizon 5. So I thought that was a nice little point. Also, if you do have that premium pack, you get some houses that you can get for free because you have the VIP access for having premium, and you get some extra car packs that you didn't have before. Also, I like the car gifting thing. That was pretty cool. I gifted a car to one of the barn finds for somebody new just because I had double cars. So don't get rid of the cars you have. If you have 2 of the same car, use that to gift. It's smooth. The one problem I have, which they've been putting on Twitter right now, so a lot of people have known about it, is I guess so many people jumped on the early access that it's been killing the servers. So you're getting kicked out of online, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Right.
Good for me. I'm not one that plays like a lot of Eliminator or me and Cerebral Paul. Let's tag team and do the next 15 races together.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say about that I think they do better than almost any game that you can play online is if you get booted off the online servers, it doesn't put you back to a home screen. You just keep driving in the world, and it just doesn't populate it with all the avatar cars. And then once you get back on, they just start populating back on. But the whole world is still there. Your car's still there. Your car doesn't stop and then start again. It just little screen beep up. You're offline, and then it brings you back on. So
I have a question.
Yeah.
Real quick. When you get booted offline, so on 4, it would depopulate the drivatars and populate in NPCs. Does it do that too?
Yes.
Yep.
So I think that's a great addition, and I think what messed it up is, like I said, a lot of people were. I don't think they were expecting this many people. Just think, I know a lot of people have been bringing up Returnal has maybe 600,000 people purchased this game. This has almost 1 million people. I wouldn't be surprised by Tuesday. There's 1 million people had this early access, and this early access means you paid for the game full or at least half price, almost the same price as Returnal. So it just shows you the strength of this and the fact that it's on PC too.
Yeah, I want to ask everybody about that itself, the early access kind of thing, and sort of a little bit of a debate it's causing, mostly with troll people are definitely making an issue. But I want to leave that as sort of a separate entity. We'll come around to that. Let me ask you, Scrub, and first of all, for all the panel, put your hand up if you are a Forza Horizon fan, if you love the series.
Well, like it a lot. I wouldn't say love. I would say like it a lot.
I love it. And I'll get into that. Yeah,
we got one guy out of 6, and that's not bad. Most everybody here really enjoys it to some extent. All right, that means Shaddai, you can go last.
Wow.
Actually, mine's is short. It's just I'm not a racing person. That's all.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Some people don't like sports games. Some people don't like first-person shooters. So, but I'll ask you a little bit about it. In a bit, like what have you tried in that front? But we'll come back to you in a sec. But just to try to keep it on point. So, Scrub, you've played this for a bit. What immediately stands out to you? How do you feel that this game itself, after playing previous ones, benefits from the Xbox Series X and S? Certainly, one of the things we saw in previous versions, which were built, on the Xbox One platform, was definitely the longer loading times, things like that. So
there are loading times.
What are the benefits? What do you notice that's different from 4? From 4 coming into this, and we still know it's about the festival, right? And it's obviously about the amazing cars and the vistas. But what else really stands out?
The loading times. Paul can attest to this. If you had a Xbox One, a One X, a Series, Xbox One S, the loading times were forever. You might be loading and hearing that loading screen. I have that music stuck in my head, going between each. Even if you're just, I'm just going to drive back home, and if you want to do a fast travel back to your home, it takes like almost a minute or plus. To start the game took over a minute for you to get in this. Not anymore. I've had times where it's a fast travel or something like that, gone. It takes maybe Paul? Maybe 5 seconds or less.
Not even sometimes. I mean, the screen comes up and goes away just as fast. It's like, oh, look at the pretty. Oh, never mind, it's gone. We're there.
Yeah. It's. I mean, now I can't say I didn't play it on One or the One X, but as far as on the Series, I've even heard it on the Series S. It's the same way. Also, the fact that you might be driving a game a car that might be going 200 miles an hour, there is a whole lot less pop in. You're going to always have a little pop in the trees in the background because you're going so fast in the open world sometimes. Now, if you're going 50 miles an hour, don't notice anything. But if you're in a car going 230 miles an hour, that's all you see popping in the grass, popping in the trees. As far as Series X, it is almost nil. You're still going to see a little bit of it, but it's not like it used to be in Forza Horizon 4. The game is beautiful. I played it barely 4K 30, but to play at 4K 30, a lot of people go, "Oh man, I gotta have 60 frames per second," but it's going to take away the way it looks. 4K 30 is not bad.
No.
It's not bad at all. I still play 60 because I want the frames, but 4K 30, you can play it, and it is way better than it was on 4 on the One X. So this
Yeah, as long as it's
box,
stable.
yeah, this box, the Series X, is 100 times different. You can. This is one of the first games, not one of the first, but one that really showcases the power of this console versus the last generation. So if you have your hands on one or you can get one, it's well worth it. You'll start seeing it in the future. Also, quick resume. You don't understand how much you love quick resume until you get a Series X.
Yeah. Perfect. Got great stuff. Great answers right there from Scrub Nurse. You know what? We will jump to Shaddai real quick. Shaddai, obviously, you don't plan. Oh, I don't know. Are you even planning to play this game then?
I played it before Horizon 4 just to give it a try, but it just for me is not. It just is not. It's
Right.
not fun because I'm not too much of a. Does not matter. It could be in a game. It could be in real life. It just when it comes to car simulators like that, it
Right.
just never caught my attention. So, yeah, it does have some pretty neat features, but it's not my thing. It could be Forza Motorsports or it could be Horizon. It just never caught my attention as a whole. For example, when Flight Simulator was released, yes, I gave it a try because I never played that before. Did I ever heard of that game before? Yes, but I never had a computer to play it. But since it was the first time releasing a console, I gave it a try. But it's only because I get really amazed by how well it is made. But other than that, the first thing that comes to mind is it for me? Quickly, I'll say no, because I'm like, what am I going to do with this? I'm going to fly here. I'm going to fly there. Yeah. So it's going to be very realistic. Am I going to be here for 6 hours? You know what I mean? So when it comes to Horizon, yeah, you're gonna have your festival here, you're gonna have your festival there, but then after that, I'm just gonna be like, this is it. You know what I mean? So that's just me.
Well, you better like Forza Horizon if you want to complete it.
Yeah, have you looked at your friends list lately?
You know?
Have you looked at
Yeah.
Well,
I know,
because this game,
but
if
it's
you
not
don't
for
like
me.
Forza, you're not going to complete it because it has so much to do in it.
You'll only have to play this game because even with the base Forza Horizon, they're adding something to it for the whole year. Not counting the DLC, they add to the DLC each one of them. This is a game where the only way you beat everything on the game is that's all you play nonstop, 24/7, and even then, you might not get to everything. There's always something new and fresh.
No, I understand that part, but it just is not for me though. I'm like,
Hey, brother, that's
understandable.
Okay.
That's
Cerebral,
understandable.
That's like Terry with Halo. She loves Halo.
I was going to say, when we get to our Halo discussion after December, she probably will be very mute on the subject. So it's all good, man. Everybody has their preferences. Nobody's hating here.
No, I know.
We're going to come around to get the rest of the panel. Let's catch up with the chat first. We've got a lot of people, including one of our longtime favorites, Cerebral Paul. You like to always introduce him.
Joe Dunmore, welcome. Good morning.
He is here, Joe Dunmore. We got Toolman 55 in the house.
See,
we got
I don't even have to look when you say that now. I know it's
you know who it is. Hey, look who's also in the house. My good buddy.
Yep, the Mag.
The Mag is here. Good morning, Mag. How are you, man? Can't wait. Gonna see you pretty soon, bro. It's gonna be good. Can't wait. It's gonna be good times.
That'll be
what else we
awesome.
got here?
Hey, Mag, when I come to Canada, when I go to Niagara Falls in June, I expect you to show up, okay? And bring some of that food you cook. So, I'm just saying.
There you go. He should have inside access to that, eh?
Yeah.
General
That's right.
Spartan's here. Matty Burns, Casket Repair, still hanging out with us this morning. We got Cray Simmons in the house. Sim73, what's going on? Kay Asante is hanging out with us this morning as well. Thank you, Kay Asante. Please, guys, like, share, subscribe this. The shares go a long way. We greatly appreciate it. So let's get some bodies up in this house here. Let's go. Let's go around the circle, and we'll come back now to Coolcat Terri, since we'll go in reverse order from Scrubs to Coolcat. I obviously you love cars, and
Yes.
I do believe you do have at least some love for Forza and Forza Horizon in particular. How do you feel about this game? Have you tried it yet? Are you dying to try it?
I have not tried it yet. I will play it later on. I won't get to it until the 10th, so I'll get it a day. I'll play it a day after it officially comes out in Game Pass. Just I can't just fit it in my schedule.
No problem. Yeah, no doubt.
I have so many games I try to fit in on my stream schedule. And that's what time I get the game is when I'm streaming. So if I can't fit it in, I'm not playing it. So I'm squeezing it in as early as the 10th. I do like Forza, but I'm not in love with Forza. I am someone who's real big into the racing games. A lot of the games I play are racing games. It's just Forza was one of those that kind of tapered off for me. I loved it when it came out, like for Horizon. I was a huge fan of 1 and 2. Loved them. And then they changed their formula with 3. Didn't like 3 that much. I still played it a lot, but I didn't like it as much. There was a lot of, for me, there was no sense of progression in that game. It just, the map was always full all the time. So it didn't matter what you did. You didn't feel like you're getting anywhere. And it irked me. And then 4 came out, and that one I hated. I did not like 4 at all. That one was more the same with 3, and then they kind of tweaked the gameplay style on it a little bit. They started to introduce more of the simulation kind of racing, which really ticks me off, because motorsports for the sim fans, Horizons for the arcade fans, and then they went and they put the 2 worlds together, and I'm sour about it. So I did not like 4 at all. I still want to give 5 a try, but if it's a lot like 4, then I'm probably going to hate it just as much as 4. But Horizon, when it comes to Forza, they are always at the top of the line when it comes to graphics and doing like their textures and things. You always see like the water rolling off the cars. They do an amazing job with that. So that's already expected. I already expect Horizon to be a beautiful game, but I need more than beauty. I need to enjoy the play style. I need to feel like I'm actually getting something done in the game. And more than likely than not, I'm not going to feel like I'm getting anything done in the game. The map is always just going to be, overly jam-packed, but nonsense. And I'll still give it a try. We'll see. Maybe it'll change my mind this time around. But like I said, if it's like 4, I'm probably going to hate it.
It's a little 4 with a lot of tweaking, going back to what people complained about, them switching and only having one festival area, and adding back like they used to have it in the first couple ones.
So if they're going back to their roots a bit more, then I'll probably love 5. But if it's a lot like 4 and like 3, then it's gonna be one of those things. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna get it out of my system for like a week, and then I'm gonna move on.
And you can definitely tell that this was a lot better destination choice than England. By the gameplay, it's a lot better.
Yeah, nice. All right, let's move over to Cerebral Paul and get his take on Forza Horizon. Obviously, he's been burning up some streets early.
Yep. Oh yeah. And let me see. First thing I gotta say is, so far at least, no snow, so I'm happy. No snow, no ice. I'm thrilled. That alone makes it better than the previous iteration.
Just wait. Seasons hadn't changed yet.
Well, no, I've seen from the devs. There's not much. There's not as the seasons are different in this game because weather in Mexico is different. Because weather is different in Mexico.
They'll have it in the high areas. Yes, it won't be all. It won't be all over the whole map. No, I do know that. Yes.
So I won't be going to the high areas during the winter season. I hate driving a sports car in the snow, and people. I always have those friends that do that. Let's take our Lamborghinis and go deep in the snow and the ice. Like, no, let's not. But I'm loving the game, and I played it both on quality and the the 4K 60 or whatever it is, the 1080p 60, whatever. I definitely noticed a visual difference between the two. Right? Yeah, I mean, it's striking the difference between the two. I mean, the quality is amazing to look at. The sounds of the different cars is improved actually. They sound more correct. They didn't just slap the same sound on all the cars. They must have done a lot of research. And if you tune your car, you'll notice a difference in the way it sounds.
Yes.
And of course, my little thing is the accessibility is amazing. If I turn on all the accessibility stuff, I'm almost unbeatable to the average player in the game. Because it has auto steering and auto braking and things like that. So if I turn it on and I set the difficulties in such a way, I will just hammer through everybody. And it's not, and I mean, I won't be surprised if they find a way to tone that down a little bit. But I've actually set my settings so that I have a little bit more of a challenge. Because, I was having fun with it. I mean, it was hilarious to, beat the crap out of people who usually beat me silly in these games, I mean, seriously. But even I know that, it wasn't really me doing it. It was the game doing it for me. So not necessarily a bad thing because it means I get to experience more of the game. And it does have its drawbacks because it wants to hug the race line so tight. Things like doing the drag race events and stuff. Or I can't do them because it automatically wants to draw me to that center line and it starts me on the outside. So when everybody else is going straight, I'm cutting to the inside of the track, and then I tend to get caught behind cars. So it definitely has its drawbacks. But I will say my only issue with the game, and the one that did not come up until they did all this stuff this weekend, and like I keep telling people, the server issues. Basically, this weekend ended up being their load test. And they ended up with a much larger load than they expected. And you constantly see on your screen, you've been disconnected from the server. You've been disconnected from the, from the different levels. And I will say there is a difference when it switches servers sometimes. I'll be like I was racing for one of the speed traps, and I was doing almost 200 something, and because it switched servers, all of a sudden it dropped me down to 30. I could actually see the clip and change between the servers. So it definitely noted the difference. So it is noticeable if you're doing certain things when you do that switch. I hope they get the stabilization better. And I know they will. It's just a matter on Monday. When it goes live for everybody, it's going to be more of the same, probably. But hopefully they've been working on it this weekend, or they're going to work on it tonight. Personally, I wouldn't be surprised if they pull the servers offline to work on that. But we'll see what happens over the next couple of days. But all in all, I think it's a great game. I've never been one in love with Forza, but it is one of those games where I'll sit there and go, one more race, one more little quick event. And next thing I know, holy crap, I haven't eaten any food for 12 hours.
Yeah, it's one of those games. It is.
What is that bright light? Oh, that's the sun. What the hell?
Well, I need that problem because then I might actually lose some damn weight.
It'll do it, and I tell you, I'm not the one for achievements, but because we got it early, I was never been so happy to see so many diamond achievements every time they popped up. I was like, yes!
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah,
those diamond chivos are nice, and so I'm enjoying it, and I know, I just looked today. I've got since Friday morning, I've gotten 15 hours of driving time in, and I don't know how it counts that or doesn't count that, but I know Tushy was on it for yesterday alone. He was on it for over 12 hours, So it's one of those games. It's very addictive if you're into this type of thing. Plus, we have a lot of friends we play with and we hook up with. I'm surprised that Scrub Nurse and I didn't hook up at all because I was
to keep disconnecting too. I didn't try to jump on with anybody because of the connections.
because what I was doing, if you looked, I was doing a lot of streaming this weekend, and what I would do is I would look down the happening now list and see who was playing and jump into the group, say, hey, can I join you? And we'd end up trying to run a little convoy for a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I thought I was using that as my looking for grouping with people that I know and that we're just going to have fun together, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That if I kicked their butt because I was using all the mods or all the functionality given to me, they were just going to laugh it off, you know.
Yeah.
And I found out with somebody that I'm not unbeatable in that mode. If you're a good driver in this game and you can avoid crashes and do what you need to do, you can still beat me. It's just a lot harder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah,
Nice.
I'm happy with it.
Nice. Yes, don't worry. We got multiple facets of this conversation as well. We're just talking about the game itself, and very fitting that the final person, well, outside of myself, to get to speak on this is Axel, who happens to be from Mexico. So, there you go. Somebody who can actually, you know, testify to the vistas in the game, and is probably dying to get right into it. Axel.
I am dying to get into this game. I am so jealous of everybody who has the early access. Nothing's stopping me from getting early access other than I know I won't. I'm not going to play the game long enough to get to wait for the DLCs. I'm not going to wait. I don't really care that much for the car packs because I'm not that much. I'm not that hardcore into it. But I do love Forza Horizon. And it's funny because when they showed the trailer, I immediately knew that they were in the Mexican Yucatan forest, and I was like, I know where this is. Wonder what game it is. And then when it turned out to be Forza Horizon 5, I was like, yes, finally. I've seen the volcano, I've seen the ruins and all that good stuff. So, and the deserts, and I'm like, where are the deserts? Because a lot of Mexico is like a pure desert. And the fact that they have the deserts there and the sandstorms, even when I showed it to my mom, she's like, oh my gosh, they even included the sandstorms because those are a real deal, right?
Crazy, yeah.
I am very excited. You're not driving any car over 25 miles an hour in a sandstorm, by the way. No way. You're covering up your intake with. We use T-shirts, really old T-shirts, to cover up our intakes.
I've actually been pointing that out to people. You would not be driving these sports cars through a full blown sandstorm.
Yeah,
you know, I was like, no.
With all that being said, this is a game. Why not drive your car 200 miles an hour through a sandstorm, right? All that good stuff. I am excited to play this game. I'm very excited. I cannot wait for Tuesday. Seeing everybody play it on my friends list, it's invoking jealousy because I want to check it out. I want to see how good it looks because Forza, the racing games, have they're so detailed in everything. I hear real quick to touch on Kiyosante's thing about the authentic music.
It's true.
I saw the Forza monthly or Forza launch party or whatever on Twitter, and apparently some of the more authentic music happens as you do some of the stories in campaign, not so much in the open world. So the authentic music is locked to stories and not really in the radio station, and that's a shame. Or who knows, maybe it unlocks into the rest of the game after you do that.
It's in the stories. You definitely hear it in the stories, but I still don't think it's enough. I don't think it's enough. This is one of the worst soundtracks in Forza to me. That's just my liking, though.
I haven't heard the whole soundtrack yet, so I'm going to hold my reservation. I'm just excited to play it.
Because I've been streaming, I've been in stream mode, and which means it shuts down the main soundtrack.
Right.
Oh,
here,
no.
For soundtrack to me was way better, and that's just on all the radio stations, not just one specific one.
Yeah, I'm more of a XS kind of person.
Yeah, me too. XS and Block Party, those are my two channels.
Exactly. I'm very excited that this car is in there to drive.
Oh, it's so fun.
Bronco.
Menu Bronco.
Especially the competition Bronco, this one. The Bronco is, I'm actually saving up to buy a Bronco right now. So hopefully I will actually drive one in real life soon enough.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm very excited to play this game. I'm very excited for the vistas, and I'm very excited to see how the seasons change because, as we said, it doesn't really snow in Mexico. So we'll see. But it does rain, especially in the Yucatan. I was kind of hoping they would include some caverns because in the, it's a video game. In the Yucatan, you can fall into a water hole and there's actually rivers of water underground. And maybe during, I don't know, the summer they would dry it up, and you could drive the caverns. That would be kind of cool.
That'd be
I feel
interesting.
that
would be neat. Yeah.
That would be. I feel that that's a missed opportunity. But other than that, I'm very excited with what Paul has said, with what Scrub has said, with what Doggy Dog has said. Shout out to Doggy Dog. And I just can't wait to start breaking signs, setting speed records, trying my best to drift, even though I totally suck at it. I cannot drift to save my life in the game.
Actually, it's a little easier. It's a little easier in this iteration. Actually,
it's easier, and plus you're on a lot of dirt, so it's easy to get it sideways.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, the only part pack I ever bought in Forza was the drift pack, because I do love drifting, the whole sport of drifting. And so me trying to drift, you can't do it in automatic. I tried to learn it in manual, and I got better, but I don't put enough into Forza to get really good into it.
Yeah.
I'm at best a highly skilled driver. You know how you can set the driver tar difficulties? Yeah. I'm at highly skilled difficulty at best.
I drive at above average and leave it there because I like to have the chance to get first place every time. If I don't get it the first time, I can try to possibly get it the second time.
Yeah. And I'll get the most of it. I hope they have a nice long race to unlock, like Forza Horizon 4 had.
They do. Oh yeah,
they do. They do.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
and not just the endurance one where you drive the whole map. In each little Forza Horizon festival section, you have 4 races in that section, and then the 5th race is like I just finished one of them. Got a diamond achieve on that. Yeah. It's like 22-minute race. And that's at each festival. You do their 4 main races for that one, and then the final one is kind of an endurance race.
Yeah, nice. I like the endurance part because on the Goliath, you know how you on Forza Horizon 4 you could set it to so many laps after you beat it and stuff. I set it to like 25 laps. It took me 6 hours to finish it.
Oh God!
And I was like, yeah, that's a race, you know. So I was having a good time.
Nice.
Real quick, I want to throw in because I wanted to say that I play Red Dead Redemption 2 a lot for the scenery. I'll just load it up and just walk around on my horse and just look around, and I can do that in this game as well. This game is beautiful and it's so relaxing.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I cannot wait. I can already imagine the kind of dumb things I'm going to try to jump on that I'm not supposed to see. You know how it goes. You always try to break the game.
Yeah, no doubt.
So yeah, I'm very excited for it. I'm very hyped.
I can tell it is one of the biggest games of the year, and it deserves much love for sure. If you love driving games, I'm pretty sure this is one of those must-own games in your repertoire. Let's catch up with the chat. We got a lot of new faces here this morning. Really good to see, but we got some old people returning. No offense or nothing meant by that. And then we got the boss mob, Lethal Papa, who is pretty much every podcaster's favorite moderator, unless you happen to be a PlayStation. I hate to use the word, but the pony. Then he is your worst nightmare. Yes, the
Pegasus Nation, baby. Oh, sorry.
We got one last round gaming. I'm not sure if I've ever seen him here before, but welcome to the podcast. I see Princess Zelda is in the house this morning. Welcome, Princess Zelda. Had so much fun with you guys on Friday night. It is unbelievable. Kay Asante is hanging out with us this morning. Kay Asante, how are you? Definitely got a guy that I want to be a guest on the show. His knowledge is absolutely astonishing. Great guy. Here's a new name I didn't recognize. Sifu Poetic X Initiative. Thank you for stopping by and checking out the show. Hope you like what you're hearing so far. Tony Grasso is, as he says, he's late, but he's here, and that's all that matters, Tony. Thanks for being here as always. Sonic Echo X, how are you? Dan the Man Cunningham. We got Jamie Waugh, what's going on? Or Roy, depending on how you pronounce it in different countries. Chris B. Rambo is here. Yes, not to be confused with Chris B. Bomb, but hey, he usually shows up at some point. We got Apex here as well. Matty Burns, what's going on? Who else did we miss here? Did I get everybody? I think I pretty much have caught up so far. Masshole is hanging out with us as well. What's going on, brother? I'm Alex, the Xbox cum dumpster. Okay, well, that was a weird name.
Okay.
And it looks like we got there you go. I'm not sure if he's joking, but Papa, keep it in check and do your thing, or any of the moderators for that matter. So, yeah, there we go. My turn to weigh in. Okay, first of all, I do love the Forza Horizon series ever since number 1 and on. I think the series keeps on getting better in most aspects. 3 happens to be my favorite, largely because it had the Hot Wheels DLC. That was just absolutely nuts. That sort of thing. And our Rob is here. What's going on, our Rob? Good to see you. And, the thing about Forza, the magic of Forza, again, is how it blends both aspects of most modern racers. You have the arcade style and feel blended with, obviously, some of the sim aspects. You've got a massive variety of cars that range from things that, the average everyday person could go and buy themselves at the store to stuff that's obviously unobtainable by most of our petty wallets. My YouTube channel is a long way from getting a Ferrari, let me tell you. But you know what I'm saying is these games are magic. I mean, maybe they're not for everyone, and I can definitely understand where Coolcat was going with some of her gripes. They have changed the series in some ways, perhaps for the better, perhaps for the worse. If there's one thing I'm really disappointed that I haven't seen yet in a Forza game, and maybe it's coming for DLC, and that is motorcycles. I would love to see the addition of motorcycles, being a big motorcycle fan myself, and of course being a massive Project Gotham racing fan, especially of number 4, which happens to be still probably my favorite racing game of all time. I would like to see an addition of that. I know that can be a little bit difficult given some of the locations and stuff. Perhaps it gets even more unrealistic, but I think it would be a really cool addition, especially, in a place like Mexico. To have like dirt bikes, even because of the deserts and the terrain, wouldn't that be really cool? Or quads or things like that, which these guys definitely have the capability, and it would elevate the series a little bit too, give people a little bit more than just your 4-wheeled option, and I think that's something that perhaps they're considering, but they want to get the stuff out of the way. We'll see how that goes. But anyway, I'm super excited to play it. I can't believe I'm already seeing people tweeting up online that, hey, I've been on every road in Mexico, which is like a really rare achievement.
It's like 580 some roads.
Yep, Tushy did that yesterday.
I'm like, my God, how long are you guys playing this game?
I barely made 200. I'm right there. It's kind of hard.
If you don't do any events and you just roam it,
right.
you can
That's
get it pretty.
do.
You can get it pretty fast. It's just most people want to do the races, and so you're constantly getting sidetracked and put in the same area over and over again.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, it's probably one of the most easiest games to get distracted in. Again, you can use a filter, and as someone said in the chat, and basically pick the events you want, so that your screen doesn't look so cluttered between your Horizon events and your challenges and your stunt events, et cetera, et cetera. It's just the wealth of stuff to do in Forza is the magic of it, is the fact that nobody's pigeonholed into, and that's what makes this game great. Like, even in the other Forza games, for example, you're not always just racing in a straight line. You're not always following a set track. Like some of those challenges, you look at the times that they give you. They get 3 stars, and you're like, how can I do that? Like that's almost impossible. But then you figure out, no, you drive off road and you go through.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Skip the roads.
Yeah. Like this game almost encourages you to explore and defy what you would normally think. Okay, so most people will have that, the intentions to stay on the road. I think for the average person, it's like, I'm going to follow the track and follow the track lines, right? And I get down and you go, man, I was flying and I never messed up once, and I'm still 40 seconds behind the target. Yeah. Okay, right? Mm-hmm. And same thing with keeping your skill chains alive. They encourage you to drift. They encourage you to hit things. Like, I mean, I haven't played the game yet, so I cannot weigh in on, the improvements. I can't tell visually just from looking at people's pictures and stuff and the videos I've seen. This game definitely has taken a big step up graphically. If you can't see it, please go get a new set of prescription glasses, because I can tell from the cars, but most importantly in the environments. Even at last night playing Forza Horizon 4 on my Xbox One X, which looks absolutely stunning, by the way, I can still wow, the textures, the detail have gone up exponentially. Definitely seeing that extra horsepower being put to use here. But again, guys, it's a racer. It don't count. I'm so sick of that argument because it's got cars, it doesn't count. You know what? I'm sorry, but what other platform has a game this good? Nothing. Sorry, man. Gran Turismo. I'm going to take a lot of hate for this because I do love Gran Turismo. I've had almost every Gran Turismo game, but man, it's a has-been. That game has not taken steps forward in years. And that's the thing. If you're going to take that long, if you're going to take that long to bring out Gran Turismo games and you really haven't innovated and done diddly squat, I'm sorry, man. What are you doing? Because Forza has been just knocking it out of the park game after game after game, and you cannot deny that. But of course, that's one of our next answers we're going to get into as well. Not only the great reviews, which are astonishing, but once again, the jealous haters, the review bombing is coming, which is driving down that user score. There's no way in heck that Forza is anywhere close to 70% on user scores, unless you're
that's ridiculous.
unless you're a complete driving numbskull. So, but I'm sorry. But anyway, I do digress. Yes, GT is an actual racer, and I'm not hating Gran Turismo. I actually like sport quite a bit. I've liked other games in the series. Gran Turismo has done graphics as well. The Gran Turismo's graphics and stuff are definitely not its problem. It just feels like they haven't innovated as much. They haven't really took risks. They haven't added a whole lot, to be honest with you. So let's see what the next one brings for it. I have high hopes for, what was it, Gran Turismo 7, is it? Gran Turismo, was it 7 at this point? Correct? 7? Yeah, which is looking phenomenal.
Yeah,
I think it's
yeah.
7. But have high hopes for it, and we'll see. Until I play it, I can't judge it. But yeah, I do like the arcade racers more than the sim racers myself, just because I just find them easier to pick up and play, a little bit more accessible out of the box. Where arcade racers or sim racers just tend to be a little bit more strategic, a little bit more about the tuning aspects, picking the right automobile and perfecting it. Like it definitely takes more skill. I give it that. And definitely takes more patience and practice. But Forza Horizon 5, getting back and ending it here, looks phenomenal. Congratulations to Xbox. Congratulations to Playground Games, who now has to be considered perhaps Xbox's best studio. And by God, if they knock it out of the park with Fable, which is going to be a true testament, getting away from 4 wheels to 2 legs and a sword, that's going to be an interesting test right there, but I'm looking forward to it. I think Playground is definitely going to deliver graphically on Fable. The rest, I guess, is up to their storytellers. And hey, I'm sure they probably incorporated some ex-guys from Lionhead to perhaps come in and help out with the game. Who knows? But I have high hopes. So, all right, let's get into the next aspect of the game, shall we? And let's quickly talk about this early access stuff, right? There are people online right now getting this highly confused. Is it day one, day and date? Yes. The game hasn't officially released yet. Okay. Yep. And this is why they're like, oh, there's these people I'm already here complaining, trying to find another narrative to bring Xbox down. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with this. You know what? As a matter of fact, it's a bonus. Actually, Xbox wins twice. The gamers win because if you're patient enough, you're still going to get it day and date. And for those of people who really wanted it early, well, hey, you get an early taste. You spend a little extra money, and guess what? Basically, you're kind of buying the game, are you not? People complain about not buying the game. Well, essentially, you're buying the game, or you're certainly buying a portion of it. You're basically, that this is what they're going for. So my big question to you guys is, regardless of the hate, because it's gonna get it because there's idiots out there, but is this a new trend moving forward? We did see early access with Gears 5, right back, but that was obviously a couple years now. So is this going to set a new precedent for Xbox moving forward? And we know that maybe not only see Xbox doing this, but even third parties that get into Game Pass is allowing a similar scenarios where we're going to go to Game Pass. We're going to give you, say, a week's early access, but you're going to have to buy into the game. So DLC up front, extra, whatever it might be. And that way, obviously they get a little more residual, they get more revenue. They know people that really like franchises can't wait. Heck, if Halo did this, and who knows, perhaps they will, how many millions do you think will jump on that day one and drop coin, right? Probably a lot of people. And that's almost like almost like a double dip in a way, but it's not necessarily bad because nobody's forcing you to spend the money. That's Correct. The thing. Right? They're not putting a gun to your head and say, hey, you got to go buy this. You can buy it at a later date and get it on sale. But obviously for the impatient people who really love a certain game, they're going to probably double dip and jump into it early. And of course, they got the bragging rights for 5. And that's part of the fun of it, I guess, the FOMO, right? Getting in there early, putting up those pictures, making all their Xbox people jealous, which is hard. Because I see it and I'm like, damn you all! I want to play this too. I'm half afraid that all you guys would be sick of Forza Horizon 5 by the time it comes out next week. You'd be like, yeah, we're done with that. We're on to the next game. And I'll be like, damn, I haven't even started yet. So, yeah,
there's a lot of people like that.
And do you think this potentially now is a precedent that we will see moved forward with a lot of games, not even just the Xbox stuff. And I'll let Rand, whoever wants to jump in on this one.
Yes.
I think it is something that'll happen in the future. Go ahead, Axel.
Yeah, I think this is definitely something that is going to be common ground from here on out. Companies are always trying to find ways to make more money in the current model, and Game Pass subscribers, um, you know, Xbox wants us to subscribe to Game Pass, and that's how they want us to enjoy games.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we do, and it has. And with every positive comes some negatives. Some people may not have bought games. Like I didn't buy Psychonauts 2, and I loved it. If it wasn't on Game Pass, I probably would have still bought it. But I didn't because I subscribed the way Xbox wants me to do it. So doing early access with included bonuses of some DLCs or skins or whatever the heck they're going to start doing, I think is going to become common ground, because then the people who are really, really excited for that will pay up for that early access. Racing fans paid up for Forza. I would pay up for Halo, obviously. Newf, I'm sure you would pay up for Gears. Mm-hmm. So they definitely hit the target audience of, all right, the hardcore are going to come in, and the middle of the road to the new gamers are going to experience it on Game Pass. And I think this is a nice mix of it, but it does add a little something to that whole play it day one thing, because the standard edition isn't available until the 9th, but the ultimate edition or whatever, Forza
Premium, yeah,
the premium edition, it was available on Friday, or Thursday. So yeah, it is quite a bit. So they might have to change their marketing slogan a little bit, adjust it, but either way, it's still a win-win for everybody. Waiting 1 week isn't going to kill anybody. It's just games. And if you really, really want to experience something, well, you can pay up for some DLC that you were going to buy anyway, probably. I know I would.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think this is something going forward.
This is just pure business move. You are getting the game day one. The release date is the 9th. If you have Game Pass, you will get this game day one. This is the premium. This is the ultimate edition, which gives you early access. The people who get early access on PlayStation for buying Call of Duty weren't complaining that they were getting it ahead of everybody else and it wasn't fair. Mm-hmm. So I don't see what's the complaint on that. If you get Battlefield, the premium edition, you get it almost 7 days ahead of everybody else. You are still getting the game. You are still getting the servers. You are still getting all the access to Forza Horizon 5 on day one Game Pass. Complete concrete. The only way you get early access is if you are paying premium edition, not a digital download edition, not a gold edition with this pack. You have to buy the premium edition. And usually the games that have this early access, you are paying the premium edition. So it's no different than any other game that has ever had early access premium edition. It's just people are using this as an example to hate on Xbox. But also, if you look at this from a business standpoint, like we were saying, Mooch always says nostalgia is a hell of a drug. FOMO is a hell of a drug. Okay. When people see on Twitter or on whatever, they're playing the game, they want to jump in and experience it too. Also, for other content creators or YouTubers or whoever, you think they're going to sit and wait until the regular edition comes out on Game Pass and miss all those days that they can be streaming it for their fans? No. And guess what Xbox gets to do? They're already getting your subscription, and now they're sitting there getting extra money. But this is in no way a way to just steal money out of the pockets of the fans. No, it's early access. If you bought the game $60 and you didn't buy the premium edition and you bought the hard copy or digital copy, guess when you get it? On the 9th. This is just an extra way for enthusiasts to get the game early and have more fun. Yep. That's all it is.
Yep. And like I said earlier, it ended up being a load test for Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
It ended up being an almost million user
Yeah,
load
yeah.
test for Microsoft. Yeah, so and so basically, we get to have the fun. They get the data they need to make the changes they need. I will say that one of the reasons I got it, and I'm going to be working on it today, is
Yeah.
I am going to be doing a video about the accessibility and actually showing the difference between when I have it set to normal, the way you guys would normally
Mm-hmm.
use it, and when I use the accessibility controls. And it is a striking difference. And I'm going to put that together today. I was talking about that with the 4G QTV guys. So,
Yeah.
so I actually took it as an investment and an opportunity to put something that only I or somebody like me can really look at and put together.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
So,
oh yeah.
go
Also,
ahead. Yeah.
if you look at it, this is a way. If this was a brand new game, I don't think the people would be spending for the premium extra editions like they are now. But you are dealing with a trusted franchise with a verified just developer that's just banging out the hits with their extra content, with the games, with the visual quality, the gameplay. People are going to buy it if they know it's going to be great. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of times people have Game Pass because they can try out games because they don't know it's going to be good. They know this game is going
Yeah.
to be good, so they are willing to spend the money. If you give
Correct.
them something that is great, like
Yep.
Axel, he knows Halo is his jam. Halo's been great for so long. He's going to spend the money on Halo.
Yeah.
Noof, you're going to spend the money on Gears. I'm going to spend the money on Forza. Hell, I'll spend the money on COD, even though I know it sucks, and I still bought it anyway. But I haven't even touched it because I've been playing Forza. Playing Forza. But this is the thing too. You got to think about for all those people who are worried about their backlogs. I got this game so I could spend extra money playing it. I mean, extra time playing it ahead. So when I want to get to something else, I'll be done. I'll be
Nice.
done maybe 2 or 3 weeks early and go to the next game.
Just in time for Halo. See, there you go.
Thank you. Yes.
You did. I was going to say he almost pretty much answered Mike. I was going to ask one question to the chat, and he pretty much almost answered it. What is the one game or franchise that you would definitely drop extra coin on to have early access and DLC?
Oh, by the way, I thought I'd throw out there that I don't think Phil's Drivatar likes me because he's always trying to run me off the road. But I'm beginning to take that personal.
I love those driver tires, man. Some of them are just,
Sometimes they're vicious. It's like, wow.
Yeah, and you strike one going into the corner, and then every turn afterwards is like, yeah, we're gonna butt heads here. Yeah,
They're thinking they're playing Burnout.
yeah, crazy. Definitely one of the coolest things that have been implemented. And I still go back to that one story, not to get off topic, but I go back to this one story, and you guys have probably heard it from a few years ago. The boy that lost his dad, and then he went back a couple years later to play the game, and his dad's drivatar was in there.
Yeah, I heard that story.
And bringing back quite a sentimental moment. You can imagine almost like your dad was immortalized in a game per se. You know what I mean? That's kind of cool. Yeah, but
very cool. Oh, hold on. We didn't get to hear what game Terry would drop coin on.
We haven't got there. But
or early access. And why?
Yes, Terry. Should I?
I mean, I have a bunch that I would, but like Tomb Raider for sure. Tomb Raider, Mass Effect, and Dragon Age, hands down.
Nice.
I would drop, big money.
Mm-hmm.
Never disappoint me. Oh, Andromeda disappointed me, but but other than that, I mean, they're great. They're great franchises.
Mm-hmm.
And let me say, man, even Mass Effect 1 being as old as it is, I just completed it, as I said at the top of the show. What a great game that was, though. Even though it had a little bit more repetition, but man, what a great game. Unbelievable. But anyway, should I?
Well, for me, if something special comes from Dead Space, I will buy from Dead Space if it's like that for the remake. But I think what I have on mine right now is probably Hellblade 2. Anything that will come from Hellblade 2 or anything that will come from Rare, which is Everwild. And the last one will be Fable. That should be it for me.
Yeah, Fable. I would probably drop a coin on
I
Fable.
was gonna say you got lots of dead
Yeah.
space in those prison cells you're in, don't you?
Pretty.
No
Well,
wonder you drop extra coin.
well, actually, it will teach me how to escape if you give it a thought. On Resident Evil, it's always a cell, trying to break something, from a cell. So.
Mhm.
Did everybody answer this question?
Not really. I haven't, but I would say there are no I couldn't really think of one. The only one I could think of isn't a proven entity, but if they offer a special thing for Starfield before day and date, so I can get early access, I will be all over that.
I could see that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I hope that game does not turn out to be anything less than spectacular.
Yeah,
Really do.
I'm kidding.
I don't want it to be another No Man's Sky. You know what I mean? Which would probably.
Oh,
But,
boy.
hey, in all fairness, and I give those guys huge
feeling.
props. Hello Games that had how much they stuck with it despite everything, and have
Yes.
turned it into a pretty damn phenomenal game now. But
Yes,
boy,
it's true.
was it rough when it came out. It was like
Oh,
nothing
yeah.
I expected. And look at it now, almost a completely different entity entirely. And even the VR mode, wow! Like, kudos to Hello Games, man. Like, you guys deserve a prize for being like, yeah, we're not just giving up and calling this a day. Like, just sticking with that. That takes, I don't know, man. It was balls, gutsy. Because kudos to all those small developers that just don't say no for an answer and stick by their vision. I think they were under a lot of pressure to put that game out long before it was ready.
Yeah,
and that's a perfect example.
It's kind of a side topic, but we talked about that the other night too. That I like the companies that do that. That even though they have a clunker at launch, they keep firing on till they get it. You know, they correct the problems and they don't just shutter the game after 6 months ago. No, this is crap. What brought it up was the whole thing with the Avengers game, and the way that studio got thrown under the bus by the publisher.
Oh yeah,
That
that topic. I should have used that one for today. I wanted to speak on that, but yeah.
They got thrown under the bus while it was going over some railroad tracks.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Microsoft, do your thing. Get Crystal Dynamics out of that hole and put them in your banner, baby.
I can see that happen.
Man,
Get him away from that hole.
As an employee, if I worked there.
Got talent, man. Put him under the Xbox banner. Make him make some real games.
Yep. But yeah, so I do appreciate the companies like that ride it out basically, and they go, no, we got something to prove. We can do this right. We have a plan. We have a vision.
Yes.
So yeah.
All right, not to drag it on too long. Who else didn't have a chance to answer this topic? Axel, what was your game?
Oh, Halo. I mean, that was easy.
Come
on now.
He's already got his credit card out. He's already got his credit card out, dude.
He's already shrined. So.
I already got the console and the controller. I've already spent my coin.
Have we heard? Yeah, I got the controller too. I can't wait. Have we heard any rumors or anything about whatever premium? Is it statue? Is it some games with a map or something?
The official Master Chief jockstrap. What? I mean,
I'm wondering why is it taking so long for that to come out? Something must be going on that they're adding into it that's special.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's a hookshot replica. So I wouldn't.
Oh no, that's lawsuits going everywhere unless it's a.
If it is the Master Chief jockstrap, I'm there, so I can take a master piss. Yeah, no, nothing official. A bunch of retailers are doing their own thing. Like Walmart has an energy sword statue. I know that they partnered with, I forgot the name of the company, but they did a pretty epic Master Chief versus Esherum statue. But it's not part of a collector's edition version of the game. They haven't even announced the steelbook version of it or anything.
That's what I'm wondering. What we're holding back on. And usually that's out by now.
Console. They did a console, did a controller, they even did a mouse and keyboard, but like the game almost is like I don't know, like
maybe they're letting Forza have their time in the spotlight. It is only a month before.
Yeah.
A Phantom launch or something like
what I will say, Newf, that I'm highly pissed off about is I pre-ordered the controller. I've been playing this Forza game without the controller, and I have a friend at Walmart, and they have the Forza Horizon controllers. Maybe they hadn't put it on the shelves yet, but he was showing me pictures of it. And I was like, come on, man. When's mine coming out? I can't wait for that thing. It's a pretty cool controller.
So I have a theory
I'm actually
hard to get consoles.
What has been upsetting me about this is that, and I'm not against influencers getting review codes or any of that stuff for free. It's
Mm-hmm.
that they get these collectibles for free that you cannot buy
Yeah.
as a consumer.
Right.
So
Yeah.
like these influencers are getting this gas can, this Forza Horizon
Yeah.
5
Yeah.
gas can with all
Awesome.
kinds of goodies in it and the controller and all these collectibles. And us Joe Schmoes over here can't even buy it if we wanted to. And it upsets me when something like that happens, when those care packages are not accessible to everybody.
Yeah.
It just, and like it doesn't bother me that they get it for free. I understand they're influencers, but what's the point of giving the influencers something you can't buy? It
At,
just,
Yeah.
at one point,
it
you're trying to
rattles me.
say you're not trying to complain, but it
Because they're
actually
very
does sound
Well,
like a
passionate,
complaint.
Well,
apparently.
and no, I get why they because it's their way of saying thank you because without those influencers, the game may not be what it is.
Yeah.
You know,
I
We got a super
guess.
chat coming in, guys. Super chat
eh,
coming in hot from Gone Mad. Gone Mad puts up says people are reaching so hard to put Forza Horizon down. It is really sad. Maybe Microsoft should create a toll-free hotline to help them through
Oh boy.
I saw a meme about this
Albert,
one.
that's directed at you, Albert. Okay, we'll get you a phone number.
Oh
I
my
saw a
god.
meme about that says, "Oh, if you're hurt about a game, dial 1-888. It hurts."
Yeah.
You know, it's really funny because the one of the guys too that I follow on Twitter, and I know a lot of times he trolls and stuff too, and he comes to our chat and he might be here today. Is failed pyromancer, right? Good
Mhm.
guy.
Yeah.
But I know he likes to take digs all the time, especially at Xbox. And then he puts up one the other day, and I don't often comment. I usually ignore, but he goes, "Oh, you Xbox guys don't ever credit any of the PlayStation games when they're good. You just, and I'm like, buddy, I don't know what circle that
Yeah, we do.
you're following me that you're in because everybody that I pretty much know has an Xbox has a PlayStation, and they've talked about for what the last 3 years how God of War was their game of the year, how they love Horizon Zero Dawn, how they love Ratchet and Clank. So I don't know which circle you've been listening to, man, but the Xbox gamers that I play, they're actual gamers. They don't get into this nonsense crap. They actually play games, and they are not afraid to say when they like a game or they dislike a game and do it legitimately, not review bomb it and give it a 0 score, haven't even touched it, which I have zero time for that kind of nonsense. That's just you being a salty fanboy, no more, no less. But yeah, so I had to call fail out on that and said, buddy, I don't know if you're following my crowd because it's not the 95%. There's a couple of guys on my Xbox list, yes. There's one guy who blocked me and unblocked me one time before. I think he didn't like my whole Game Pass rant or something, and then he basically went off and used to be like a fan of my show, and then all of a sudden basically started calling me nasty names, and I'm like, well, F you too, buddy. But anyway, not to get off track. But yeah, so there you go. Albert G,
yeah.
what's going on in the chat? Pixel Slapper,
Awesome.
what's happening, man? What's happening? Zero Cool, how you doing? Freddie Fox, back from the dead is here. What's going on back from the dead? Brandon Barnes, how you doing? Our good friend Princess Zelda said she's been here hanging out with us as well. Yes, and let's keep it on going, guys. I think we're pretty much done. I don't think we really talk about the negative review score stuff because I think we know how that plays out. It's just you're going to get it with every game. You get it from the Xbox side, you get it from the PlayStation side. It's nothing new. People they hate for the sake of hating because it's not on their platform. And at the end of the day, that's 90% of it. It's just jealousy because they're so entrenched in just owning that one console that it's impossible to love the other, which I don't understand. I mean, how many times?
What's funny is some of them own both consoles and play both consoles. They just pick the side to be vocal about.
Yeah, I don't get it either. But it is what it is. It's going to continue. I guess that's my last question, and that is part of my title. Was can Forza? And this is a big question. Can Forza Horizon 5 be a game of the year? Why or why not? We know it's probably going to win a racing game of the year, but why shouldn't this game be considered for a game of the year title? It's got everything that you want: fun, graphics, sound, improves on its past game. Everybody's loving it, but yet somehow these games, even though they're critically loved, always seem to be left out of the conversation for the overall game of the year. So who wants to jump into that? Do you think it should be? It's a game, isn't it?
I think it won't be no matter what comes out because it's kind of like the Oscars or any other type of there has some kind of sense of elitism as far as whether they think is a great story or immersive or whatever. That's why you have like best racer, best action game. best indie. There are indies that could fight for the best game of the year, but they're not going to fight. They're not going to win best game of the year because they're going to get put in the indie section. You got there could be platform like Psychonauts is a great game, but because it's a platformer, they're going to put it in this little niche category, and they're going to save a lot of these game of the years for these just great immersive stories that might have made you cry or made you do this, and this, pull out emotion. I don't think a racer will ever win. Not saying a racer isn't the quality type to win, but you have to think too, when you're playing Forza, there really isn't a big story. Yes, they have little modes where you learn some history about Mexico and stuff, but there is no, you create a driver and they go through all this stuff, and there is no story written around you and the driver. You're driving and having fun. So that's another reason why I don't think they'll ever get put in that category, because it's not story based. It's get in the car, have some fun, mission. Like I said, there are some parts that you'll learn about where you're at, but I don't think they'll ever win.
I agree with that. Part of the problem, because I love racers, but part of the problem is game of the year. The whole award is based on a game that can deliver the best experience in all fields, both technical and creative. And racers can nail the technical side, but when it comes to creative, I mean, they're not really there. You race in a tournament. That's it.
Yeah.
There's nothing really creative there. There's no storylines. The racers that do have storylines, the storylines are very mediocre. It's subpar, and I won't even remember them. So they don't meet all the criteria to qualify, and that's their problem.
But didn't whatchamacallit Overwatch win a Game of the Year in the Game Awards a couple years ago?
Or PUBG beta.
PUBG,
Beta.
So there are exceptions to the rule. So I don't know, I think it definitely can. But yeah, finish what you're saying.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It just it's not there. But the Game Awards have become
slanted.
Very biased. Very biased.
Certain type of game, yeah.
Because there's been the last few years, I've felt that Nintendo should have gotten Game of the Year for some of the stuff that they've dropped, and they don't get it. So it's it's definitely it's definitely biased.
And we also know how Jeff Keighley, how many times did he bring up Death Stranding Kojima prior to that game? I mean, we get it, buddy, that you like Kojima and you like his games, but the bias was so overly apparent. It was dude, honest to God, right? And I'm pretty sure Death Stranding would have probably took Game of the Year on that show if it had actually launched within that window. But it didn't. It missed that window apparently that year. So
no, it did. It did launch in that window because it was a nominee. It was a nominee. It lost out to Sekiro.
Oh well, maybe the director's cut wins it this year.
Maybe. So the last non-story game to win Game of the Year was maybe Gran Turismo 3 back in 2001, and then Madden I think got a Game of the Year nod in 2003. So ever since then, no sports/racing game has even been nominated for a Game of the Year on any show, period. It's a shame, really, because these racing games, I mean, Forza Horizon 5 is the best racing game since Forza Horizon 4. I mean, let's just be honest.
Yes.
Nobody can do what Forza Horizon is doing. Project Cars can't do it. Wreckfest can't do it.
Dirt 5.
All these arcadey open world racers can't do what Forza Horizon does. There's a reason why it's so good and why people love it. And Forza Horizon is a system seller, or in this case, Game Pass subscribe driver.
It's not fodder.
No, it's definitely not fodder. This idea that a game has to make you cry, or I don't know, it has to have this story like you're playing an interactive movie of some kind is a bunch
That's
of
they
crap
won't.
to me.
That's what I mean. Slanted.
Gameplay is king. And to me, it will always be king. If your gameplay comes second to your story, I don't think that's good as a game. Personally, right? Now, story is important. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying that gameplay should be king, period. And, so some of these games, they're like, I'm going to use Death Stranding, even though it didn't win. I'm just using it. It got nominated, right? I am not playing your game for 20 hours before it stops being boring because the gameplay is not that tight to begin with, and the story didn't get good for 20 hours. I'm sorry. I don't know how that game got a Game of the Year nod.
You know how.
I have no idea.
Yes, you do.
Well,
it was
in my world. I have no idea because it wasn't. I'm sorry. It's just I'm not even playing it.
The
I'm
ones
not playing any game for 20 hours before it becomes fun.
The ones that are winning are third person, over the shoulder, cinematic cutscene style movie games.
Movie games, yeah.
Yes, those are the ones that win because they're closest to the movies.
Yeah.
The video game awards are trying to put themselves up like they're kind of Oscars and stuff. So what are the games you're going to go for to say, now this is high class, highbrow video games? The ones who are full of cutscenes, showing story, movie, cinematic games. Those are the ones that are winning.
Yeah.
Yes,
that happens to be where Sony
won.
specializes. That happens to be where Sony specializes.
That's what I'm saying. It might not even be slanted towards Sony, which a lot of people might say it is, but that's what people are voting
and it's
for
marketing.
the tops. Yeah.
And that in turn drives sales to those games because people see those scores, they see the hype surrounding that Game of the Year conversation. Everybody likes to slap that on their box, don't they? Game of the Year, 101 nominations, so on and so forth. That in itself is marketing, and that's where Sony kind of has that little bit of genius too, because they know what drives the boat, and that's why they're almost terrified to step away from that formula because that is their bread and butter, that sort of thing.
Yeah. So. To me, the Game of the Years, Forza Horizon definitely deserves to be up there because from what I hear, now I haven't played it, but from what I hear from Paul and from Scrub and from Doggy, it's probably the best game this year that has come out this year. Now, the only other games that to me are hanging on there that are AAA is Resident Evil 8, right? Village came out early February, I believe. It's pretty good. It's really good.
It's very good, but to me, I've been having more fun with this than Resident Evil Village. So it just depends.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this: if It Takes Two does not get nominated for Game of the Year this year, that would be a damn crime because that is such a good game.
But that's what I'm saying, Newf. A lot of these indie games, which have been carrying most of the weight of this year's gaming, I don't know. This whole year has been carried mainly by these games. They're going to get put in the best indie of the year, and they're going to save the end of the year for Halo. They're going to save it for like Resident Evil or any other game that's coming out right at the end of the year that is, some AAA cinematics. But you never know. It might change this year because those games are good. Death's Door has been getting a lot of hype. It Takes Two is getting a lot of hype. Psychonauts too.
I think
this year the indie games were.
I really hope it does.
This year, when it comes to games, like the indies stole the year. So if an indie doesn't win, then something's up.
Because most of the AAAs are getting
House of Ashes should get some notoriety too, because House of Ashes was an amazing game. The story is amazing. The everything about it is awesome.
I just feel that a lot of the Jeff Keighley outlets that vote for Game of the Year, and I'm using Jeff Keighley because that's the big show, right? That one in the British Game Awards, right? That some of the people are becoming what I'm calling, how you have movie critic snobs, that they like these super artistic movies that are so deep and all this other crap, and yet I watched that movie and it freaking sucks.
Yes,
I wasted 2 hours of my life watching that movie.
I've gone to the Best Picture showcases for a few years. One year they had The Tree of Life, And if you've never sat through that piece of shit, I'm sorry. It's
The movie award stuff really baffles me.
Yeah, and I'm afraid that the video game industry is
The
starting to
video
turn that
game,
way,
they
where they're
are
becoming these snobs and
elitist.
nominating these games that just don't deserve it simply because of
right.
the art is so deep. You just
Yeah.
gotta look past the pixels and look into the soul of, I don't know, whichever character Norman Reedus is playing. I mean, it's just. I'm sorry. It's a game is a game. Gameplay is king. Fun is king.
Look
Period.
at the treatment that Ori and the Will of the Wisps received, and that
it got
pushed by I think it was Resident Evil remake, knowing that should have been a separate segment. That's something that hurted me the most. That hurted me the most because Ori is very special.
But I will say this too, as far as what you were saying, Axel, and the elitist thing. When they have those awards for movies, these people are voting on, maybe 50 different movies out of the year.
Mm-hmm.
They don't watch all those movies. They don't have a chance to watch all those movies because half of them are in the industry and they're in their own movies or directing or producing their own movies, plus having the time to watch all those in daily life. It's the same thing with these video games. There's no way in the world these folks voting for the game are playing from front to back all these games. So they're going to say, oh yeah, I really liked this game because it was the kind of style game I liked and I played from the through. But Death's Door, oh no, I never touched it. So of course it won't get voted on if you never played it.
He's got a great
point.
I don't know. Everything has
deserves it.
Everything has a point of view, right? I mean, obviously, one person's trash, another person's treasure. Again, obviously, if like Shaddai, he doesn't like racing games, so like Forza Horizon wouldn't be anywhere close to his game of the year. So yeah, you got a great point there. It's like the movies. I mean, I'm not one to argue. I don't know what the criterion is to pick a movie or some of these games for that matter. But I just always find, especially when it comes to movies, though, that it seems like 90% of the ones that are in the nomination running, like I'll actually watch them because they're nominated, and then I'm like this, comatose. Like, what the heck? I mean, I loved it when Braveheart won movie of the year. That was awesome.
Yeah.
But that's a rarity for those type of movies to win anything.
When I saw Parasite, it won movie of the year, and I was like, oh my God, it won movie of the year. It's probably not good. I was surprised that it actually was good, but it's the exception. It's not the rule.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah.
Yeah, but it was good, but also it was voted on a lot because it was good and it was a movie that most of the mainstream hadn't followed or paid attention to. Most of the ones that win Game of the Year are the movies that people hadn't really paid attention to with some art style and was very good. So, I mean, you're not going to get the action movie. You're not going to get the same thing with the games. You're not going to get Eraser to win. You'll get It Takes Two win before you get Forza win.
Look at the movie Jiggly.
I'll take it.
Nominated movie of the year.
What movie?
Jiggly.
Oh my God. You just know how to bring a morning down, don't you, Shaddai? Oh man.
Wow.
I thought I forgot about that movie.
This is an amazing conversation on sports. I think we covered the gauntlet here. Again, congratulations to them and success. Can't wait for the mass people to get to try this game out, obviously, after Tuesday. I look forward to it. We're going to be doing a big community game night this weekend, but we'll get to that at the end of the show. Let's move on. Well, it's time. We're well over time to bring in Coolcat Terri and our indie spotlight.
All right. So this time around, I went ahead and I picked out a game that I recently completed. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the trailer, and then I'll go into it a little bit.
There it is, the unfinished portrait of Flora Fellow.
So, what? Freya was killed halfway through painting it?
Looks that way.
Freya was very talented, even at that age.
I didn't really understand her.
She is very important, and I will not rest until I understand what has happened to her.
Tangle Tower is something of a duality, as it happens.
No idea why they insist on calling it that. It's not even a tower. A
passage of time is a powerful thing.
I must say I'm rather jealous of you two. Uncovering secret rooms, hidden treasures.
Secret rooms? Where do you think it goes?
Down.
Okay, so this doesn't really show you too much, but it's important that it doesn't show you too much because it's a murder mystery. If they show you too much, then it gives away the whole damn game. Tangle Tower. So this is a visual novel detective game. It's point and click, but for those of you who don't like point and clicks, this is a point and click that a lot of people who hate point and clicks actually can, play and enjoy. It's got a story that really pulls you in. It's got fantastic voice acting. It's got great music. The art style is what really drew me to it because you don't really see games that in this kind of style too much. So it was a lot of fun. This game, I went and I had some time to kill on a Saturday, and I was like, I'm gonna play maybe 3 hours. I got so pulled in, I did a full 8 hours. I played the whole game start to finish in one go. So it's fantastic.
Nice.
So it's definitely one I highly recommend. And I'm not real big on point and clicks myself. There are a few that are really good, but overall, it's not my go-to genre. And like I said, I did a full stint on this game. I just had to find out who done it. All right. So I really, really enjoyed it. You guys should definitely check it out. It originally came out on Steam and Nintendo Switch first. And then last month, they finally released it on Xbox and PlayStation. You can pick it up for $20. It does also have a free demo, and if you're not quite sure about it, you can play the free demo. I know Xbox has the free trial, Steam has the free trial. I would assume PlayStation does, but I don't know for sure. I don't look at their things. But it's a great game. I loved it, and if you're someone who likes solving mysteries, then this one will definitely be up your alley.
Nice.
Check out Tangle Tower, everybody.
Tangle Tower from Coolcat Terri, another indie spotlight this week. Speaking of indies or indie developers, open invitation, guys. If you know anybody or if there's any indie developers in our chat or ever checking out this show on the replay through YouTube, we want to welcome you to come on this show if you choose. I think indie developers could definitely use spotlight. And hey, if our little channel, though, can help bring a little bit more love to your game, I'd say it's a win-win scenario. And we always love to hear from people behind the scenes in the industry because it gives us great insight and what sort of stuff goes into making a game, from storyboarding to the art, all that sort of stuff, to coding, you name it. It is not a simple process. Gaming is probably the most complex development and artistic style process of any industry out there today. You know what I mean? So because it takes so many facets to make a great game, and to those, especially those little indie developers that are making games pretty much on their own, or with very small teams, kudos to you, hats off to you, simply because that's just insane. So please, if you wish to come on the show, reach out to myself or Coolcat Terri, anybody on this panel. As a matter of fact, reach out and just let us know, because we may even do a special show, an open discussion, just to talk about that sort of stuff, to give people a better insight. Because we all know that one of the biggest misconceptions in this gaming streets that we live on is that there's way too many armchair developers out there. People that think they know more than those who put the work in, and it's kind of frustrating. You hear it all the time. You're like, oh, this, that, and something else. Hey, Paul, you've tested on this hundreds of times, calling people out on how they act, and it's like, you think this stuff is simple or something, right? But they have no idea the complexity of teams, especially when you're in a 300 or 400 person team and you got so many facets, and you also got to deal with the fact for the last 18 to 20 months, COVID has impacted teams to no extent, and we're seeing that with the amount of games that are basically feel like they're unfinished or kind of broken, more so than any other years in the past.
Yep, you want to see me react, just go, oh, it's easy, they can just add that would take no time at all, and I'm like, you have no idea what
do you guys they don't even realize that sometimes changing a few lines of code to fix one bug could potentially break 30 other things in a game.
Yeah, they have to check to see if what they did affects anything else in the game, and 9 times out of 10 it does, no matter how simple it may seem. Yeah.
And these betas don't run like crap, dude. There are a lot of them to test the servers, and also you got to remember, especially these open world games with so much coding in there, and you got millions of players. Obviously, that's the biggest test. They got 20 people that might test this at a studio potentially. How can they find everything? That's the thing. That's why they rely on your feedback, and sometimes games never really feel polished until months after they come. Heck, I've been playing Kenna. I thought it was a great game right out of the gate, but I think that game's had about 5 updates that I can recall. It seems like every time I turn my PlayStation on, update for Kenna, I'm like, what the hell are they updating? But there must be something, right? So that's just a point right there, right?
And we've talked about it already with Forza, but I think a lot of the negative about Forza coming Monday, especially, is going to be about the server issues, and it's going to be a legitimate complaint. That's the thing. Mm-hmm. Should it draw down the shore? I don't know. Mm-hmm. But it's going to be a legitimate complaint about the game, that the servers are unstable. Yeah.
Exactly. All right. Let's get into our next topic of the morning, guys. Let's get right into it. Sorry, I lost my message board. Let me see where are we at here. Good morning, Xbox. Sorry, guys. I always lose. Yes, let's quickly just talk about because this is going to be a big topic. Before we even get to Elden Ring, let's talk about our 3 games or game franchises you wish would die, and one that you really wish we would bring back, something that's kind of been dormant for too long. And let's try to keep it fairly quick. Like, just give me your 3 picks and give us a couple reasons why you think it just needs to go away. And we're going to start with Shaddai because obviously he didn't have much to say on the Forza topic. So let's get him in here. Shaddai?
Don't make me cut you, Shaddai.
Okay. Get rid of Forza, bring back Project Gotham.
Cut his mic.
Well, Shaddai, it was nice having you on the show. It was nice having you on the show.
Shaddai. You can go back to your other self now.
We're going to have a poll after this show. Should I go away?
We're looking for more panel members. Anybody?
No, it's just I'm contradicting their racer for another racer. So. No, but on all seriousness, I was thinking Call of Duty and bring back Medal of Honor.
Medal of Honor was a great game, yeah.
Right, either that or Bad Company, because it has been dormant for a really long time, and that needs to be pretty much I'm not gonna say remake, just reboot the whole thing. And have Battlefield, take a break. Well, not Battlefield, but Call of Duty, like we were talking earlier. You know what? Take a decade of a break. Take a decade, maybe 2 or 3, a century or something. We don't need no more Call of Duties, so far. But we need that Medal of Honor. We need that Medal of Honor. We need that Bad Company. So that I will actually go for that.
Is he done?
Okay.
They have a couple. They have a couple.
Go to the showers. Off to the showers with you.
Oh my gosh.
No, because I know it's 3, but what else to take out? I have no clue, but I just wish to for Tenchu to come back though. You know what I mean? I love Tenchu.
We got a super chat coming in here hot, guys. Let me get to that one right away here. And this one coming in versus Shane Tomlin. And he says, "Diddly diddly, get rid of Forza Horizon so GT has a chance."
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Oh, damn.
If they get rid of Forza, they still have to deal with motorsport. So just remember.
Pretty much.
We probably should get Scrub in here right away too, because Scrub, you got to take off, right?
Yeah, 10. So top of the hour.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Let's see. I would definitely say, and this is not picking on anybody's games, but just for Fortnite needs to go. I'm tired. It brought in Battle Royale, and everybody's Battle Royale now. Everybody has to have 50 million skins, all that stuff. And for that reason, I think it needs to go. I'm tired of it.
Amen.
It would be different if it was its own entity. I mean, I know PUBG or whatever, Apex or whatever, they have all Fortnite has all stolen from them, but for it to go into shooters that have nothing to do with that, first person shooters now have battle royale, and I just think it's horrible. Take it away. It's a bane on our existence as gamers. So now that I have stirred the pot, here's my next one. Madden needs to go. There have been football games that have done it better. Madden has had the NFL licenses and they have done nothing with it. They have only did cut and paste. You put a different colored jersey on the same people. You've had the same faces for your player characters since 1999 damn near. It's just cut and paste, cut and paste, cut and paste. All they do is they just make this great reel of what the players can do. It's a buggy mess. They've added the Madden Ultimate Ultimate Team, which is just almost play to win, pretty much play to win. And if you're going to be the only person who gets that license, you got to do better than what you're doing. And it's obvious you don't care for the fans. So go on.
Two big ones, you scrubs.
Those are my two big ones. I didn't really have a third one, but those are my two big ones. But Shaddai took one of mine that I want to come back, and that was Bad Company. I think because, of course, I like shooters. So the storyline, the way the friends came together, they ribbed each other, but they came together and did the missions and stuff. It was funny. It was a good time. I think we should bring back Bad Company. So that's what I have on this.
See, this is the point I made earlier in the show. I know Scrub is a Madden fan. I mean, a lot of people are. A lot of people have their Madden fans. I mean, I love the NHL games. Why not?
I stopped buying them. Right? Yeah, I used to get them every year.
I used to too. I used to get them every year. But this is it. At some point, like that's what I'm saying. People need to wake up because we're buying into the wrong things and we're sending the wrong message. Most importantly, the thing is that's where you're not paying them to basically innovate anymore or try something new. Again, especially Madden, they got a monopoly on the franchise, right? They got the NFL license, and like you said, they have so much potential to do tons of things with it. But they don't. Again, copy and paste formula. They add a feature, and a lot of times what I see, they add features and then take away features just so they can bring them back 3 or 4 years later and say, "Oh, it's a new feature." We've seen that before. Why are newer games having less and less content? Some of the games that we had 10 years ago, that sort of thing, and it continues. And like I said, you're a hardcore Madden fan speaking out, and I see people in the chat saying the same. But unfortunately, that's still the number one selling game, right up there with FIFA, because the bulk load of people still go ahead and buy it. I guess people that that's all they play, because I do know people out there that literally buy a console to play that one game, and it's like, oh my god, seriously. But anyway, that's a topic for another day. But
real quick, I just want to draw the part of that is it's the only game in town.
Yes, that's what I was getting. That's what I was going to say. You had Blitz, you had 2K that were doing it just as good, or they had some features that were better than Madden. Because folks go,
that was my favorite.
Yeah, that was a good one too. Folks go, well, Scrub, you get Call of Duty every year, but Jesus Christ, it isn't Call of Duty, and all we did was change their uniforms. We're still in the same setting. We're still in the same year. Everybody has the same clothing, and then when you're on the battlefield, you'll see players and stuff in the background that says Call of Duty, Black Ops when you're playing Modern Warfare. That's the kind of stuff you're getting at Madden. There's hardly been any innovation when they go, oh, well, they put in this juke move and this spin move. Yeah, it's been in the game maybe 7 years ago. It's still there. Oh, they might have made the juke a little better, or they might have nerfed it a little bit or buffed it, but they're not doing anything spectacular with the game.
And those have juked me right out of the ability to play those games with any skill, by the way. So the more they do with the controller, the less I can play. So,
bring back NCAA. I love that way more than Madden.
Well, Michelle Alexander, if we're annoying as hell, you don't have to come watch the podcast. We're just giving our opinions, right or wrong. Obviously, there are millions of more people that think they're right than the people that think we're wrong, because people still keep buying Madden. But what the side is we don't want Madden to go away. We don't want
want it to
sports
be
games to go
better.
away. We want it to be better. That comes from competition. What we're saying is EA is not forced to put out a Madden game every year, no more than you're forced to buy it. What we're saying is EA, listen to your fans. Go make a great game and come back to us. You don't have to put one out every year. All you're doing is trying to please your stockbrokers. I mean, Halo, they should put a game out every year. I suppose you want to put it on money, but you know what? It's been delayed. It's been delayed because they care more about putting out a better game than putting out one every freaking year just to keep, again, the stockbrokers happy and keep a fan base happy. This applies to every single game out there. You should not be forced. Same with Call of Duty, and I'll get to my crap in a second. I could go off on a rant on it. We want games to be better, not just forced cash grabs that people buy into because, again, they can't wait. They have to have it. Like, we're old school fans. Scrub said he bought it every year. I bought every single sports game pretty much every freaking year, especially in the 16-bit era, 32-bit. Yeah. Every year I bought it. And eventually I said, you know what? I'm tired of buying the exact same game. Even with Call of Duty. You know, Call of Duty, it comes out every year, but I will give it this. It's not the exact game. Sports games are that one genre that, what can you do? It's a sports game. It lives by its same set of rules. But that doesn't
got a list.
Innovate.
Yeah. Hey, real quick. Hey, Michelle. If you want, one way they can make it better is don't let it say 2019 on a 2021 game. Okay.
Yes.
I mean,
Michelle,
details, baby. It's in the details. It's in the details.
There were games back in when Madden had competition, like the ESPN, they would have a halftime show and would give you like highlights of the other games and not just say
ESPN, the best football.
Those were cool. Those were cool, actually.
They would not just say, "Oh, the Falcons beat the Saints 20-13." They would show you highlight. They would generate a highlight of the game during a halftime show. When you won the championship, it's not the same. You won the Super Bowl's what's the word? Animation that they've been using for the last 15 years.
You say Tecmo Bowl?
The players, Tecmo Bowl, when you're on the goal line and you're diving in, you had animation. Did you make it or did you not? It brought suspense to an 8-bit freaking game. Madden is not doing it. All they're doing is getting money out of their players because they do not have any competition. Yeah. If you give them competition, Madden will be better.
We're not calling it a cash grab. We're not calling it a cash grab because we don't like it. We're calling it a cash grab because we know it can be better.
And it is a cash grab.
And it is a cash grab because they're not changing anything. They don't even change the graphics half the time.
Annual series are no more than that. You got to call a spade here. That's the only reason they exist, as I said, because these decisions are not made by the developer of the game. Do you think that, honestly, any real serious developer wants to put out the same sports game every year? No, they're forced to. They're like, we pay you to make this game over and over and over. They got, less than 12 months to basically take code, rechange it, add stuff to it, right? There you go. So unless they're going to make multiple teams like Call of Duty is doing, where they dedicate a different team to each year, potentially you might get a much better game because you have fresh views, but it's not. They got one team trying to make one game. They don't have the time to make it better. This is what we're saying. Sports games have always come out every year, but you know what? The only time sports games really change, as Scrub said and Paul said, is when there was competition because they had no choice in order to be better and to sell more. When NFL 2K came out that year, and was $20-something, and it was better than Madden. It scared the living shit out of EA. That's why they went out and trucked all the cash at the NFL license like, oh, frig, this is how we do it. We steal the license, we monopolize this freaking thing, and they've done it with every franchise since. NHL has went downhill consecutively. Every sports game they've had has gone downhill because nobody is forced them to make a better game.
Yep.
That's it.
Who makes FIFA 2?
EA makes the whole bloody
thing,
right?
Thank you. That's all I'm saying. That's why it's going down because it's EA.
Stop buying Madden games away from the game.
I don't want to even imagine if they made another boxing.
Here's the thing. Okay, if you want to keep going that route, why can't you make your games free to play? Why can't you make Madden, FIFA, hockey, all the rest of them free to play and then charge people for perhaps updates and stuff? Why won't they do it? Because they'd rather nail $80 or even $90. They're charging you now even next-gen upgrades, right? For the same game. They're not $40. They're not half-ass price. Like, even you could say, what was it, like, these remaster games come out or these remake games, you notice they don't even charge you full price most of the time. They charge you $40 or $50, and they actually went and developed a basic new game, but they charge you less. Why? Because they're not stupid enough to realize they just made the same game over and over again and slapped some new paint on it. That's what sports games do, but they charge people full price. They could easily be free to play and just add, and people would be a little bit happier. They'd be more forgiving about it, but not when you're paying actually more money now to play NHL or Madden and more money to play the NBA 2K games because, I've got the Xbox Series X version or the PS5 version, so it must be that much damn better. That's all we're saying. We can argue on this all day, but this is one time that I'm going to say right now, we are right. You are wrong. So go back to your troll hole or wherever it is you want to go to and go maybe watch another podcast that loves sports games. There you go. That's my say. All
Next person. That was a good rant, though. That was good.
Somebody triggered Newf.
I just want to add. I mean, that was
no, you're gonna trigger Terry too.
I'm not triggered. Like I stopped playing. I stopped playing these games. I used to love them back in the day when they were, each one was unique, but they're not. There's no uniqueness anymore. Her big argument is what are they supposed to do? All kinds of things they can do. Like I made the comparison of NFL Blitz. NFL Blitz is completely different from Madden. There's, and it's still a football game. All right. So they, and the big draw for Blitz was you had the fun animations where you could set your guy on fire and do all these cool, motions and stuff on the field. And it was a lot of fun. All right. They could go so far as make, separate side games that you can play with your friends that it could be, over the top arcadey, to draw people in. Like how Call of Duty has zombies, right? It's an over-the-top different experience within the game that they could do. Madden could do that. They could make over-the-top side experiences that people could play. They're not doing that. All they're doing is making a football simulator with an updated roster every year. That's it. They're not doing anything to be creative on top of that. There's lots of things they could do to build on it. They're not building on it.
So you want Madden to add zombies so we could play?
I'm not saying
that would be awesome. That would be awesome.
If they wanted to do a really cool thing for Halloween and they wanted to make
it's a pretty good event.
Vampires versus zombies on the field, that would be a twist.
Let me rip the arm off zombie. Let me rip the arm off zombie Romo.
I made this statement a while back too for Madden, right? Okay, and this was like even years ago on some of my early podcasts. I said, you know what? Up here in Canada, we have a little football league. Maybe some of you heard called the CFL. All right, it wouldn't take a lot of money to actually buy the CFL license and add it to Madden. You know why? In the NHL games, you have anybody knows you play NHL? They have licenses to the European leagues and everything. They have the AHL, the European. They don't just have just the NHL. They have everything, almost everything. I'm almost surprised your kid's sports team isn't in there. Okay, but they're not. This is what I'm saying. But Madden has just strictly NFL. Why can't you, for the Canadian fans up here, all 10 of us, whatever, CFL, all right? You know how many teams you got in the CFL? I think there's like 8. So how hard would it be to add a CFL league to Madden as an extra bonus, something a little bit different rules, but still, it's not going to compete because they would own it, right? It'd be in their freaking game. But this is what I'm saying. They take no risks. They take no chances. As a matter of fact, there was a podcast I watched the other day where they actually it was Angry Joe. He actually called them out on it. He said like how even the NHL franchise it had was it 300 or 500 different character designs for creating your player. The latest NFL Madden only had something like 6. Right? The hair didn't look realistic. They were arguing about how the hair looked absolutely terrible. And we're talking about a multi-billion-dollar sports game versus a multi-million-dollar hockey game, which sells nowhere close to FIFA or Madden. But they have all this stuff in hockey and nothing in Madden. Why is that? Bare minimum with Madden all the time. I'm just making a point. Right? Again, competition is not making to do anything. Now they just know they can. This is what I'm saying. They know they can get away with it. People keep buying. People don't speak with their wallet. They just speak with their, I'm so dedicated. I got to have the latest roster. And if you notice, all of their games now, they're more focused on HUT than anything else in the game because it's legalized gambling. People gamble. You don't even spend money and know what fucking cards you're getting. You get, drop the F-bomb. You buy these card packs with random cards. It's like going buying baseball cards and hockey cards at the store. You don't know what you're getting. You're just paying all this money, and you're like, oh, I just spent $20 on hot people, and 90% of them are absolute garbage. Just to get that one player that you're hoping you might like? Like, if I'm going to spend money, I better know what the hell I'm getting. Okay? Simple as that. Not random crap. What the hell?
Like when you buy a DLC for Forza Horizon.
Yeah, you know what you're getting.
Yep.
You know what cars are in it? You don't go, oh, it's a... Now, if Forza starts doing that shit with this, you buy these random car packs, and it's like, you know, the only thing... They got Lotto in the game. What's it, the little drop-down things?
Spin wheel, but the free spins, but you don't pay for that.
Exactly.
You don't pay for it.
That's kind of fun, but not if you're going to spend real world money to constantly guess as to what you're getting. That's just asinine. And if Forza ever gets into that, I'll be the first guy to send Microsoft a big fat old letter telling them, dudes, do not go down that road, please. But anyway, we are way off topic. What a great conversation.
All right, let's go back to
topic my ass here, Newf.
Let's go back to those games. Go back to those games you want to get rid of. Who hasn't had a chance to answer? I think only Scrub. You got to get out of here. Do you want to do your outro now?
Yeah, I'll just do the outro real quick. Thanks, everybody, for coming out. I had a great time. As always, I will definitely listen to the rest of this on replay like I do every week. So even if you're the people who are listening to replay, thank you for always checking us out here on Good Morning Xbox. I know there's a lot of other places you can check out, but thank you for hanging out with us. So you can find me on Twitter, ScrubNurse3. You can find me on Xbox at gamertag Scrub Space Nurse. And then here every morning, Sunday morning. And then you can see me on Gaming Beyond the Box on Wednesday nights. And we do that at 9 Eastern, 8 Central PM. So thank you guys for coming out. I'm loving it. And I'll see y'all next week. Have a good one. See y'all later.
Go check out Scrub. Look forward to seeing you back here next week, my friend.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
all right, who's next?
I'll go.
Go ahead, Axel.
Yeah, sure. So I'm going to keep this quick. I'm going to eliminate what I call the salad of video games. And the reason I call them the salad is because they don't hold their value. That's Call of Duty's. I'm sorry, Call of Duty. They recycle maps. They recycle gunplay. You can use scopes on World War II guns. I mean, it's just... It hasn't been great in a long time. It hasn't, it has 3 development studios, and how do all 3 of them feel exactly the same? You know, they're supposed to be taking turns. So I say Call of Duty. Get rid of that one. That's my number 1. Number 2, and I'm sorry, Terry, is Assassin's Creed. Not that there's anything wrong with Assassin's Creed. More or less, I wanted to take a break. Maybe a year in between, a 2-year dev cycle or something. Because a new Assassin's Creed every year, especially with that you can spend hundreds of hours on Assassin's Creed, I just feel exhausted with it every year by the time I'm done. You know, and then a few months later, the next one comes out. So I think that one can also take a break. But the one game, and I mean this, that needs to die is Destiny 2. Because it's supposed to be this great MMO shooter, and I feel that it has fallen way off. It has fractured its base so much that unless you pay and pay and pay and pay, you're not going to be able to do everything your friends can do. You got to pay for the season pass. You got to pay for the dungeon packs now. You got to pay for the campaign packs. And there is no one inclusive pack. Everything is excluded from each other. Destiny 2 it's not fun to get into a group anymore. There is no more base to Destiny 2. So if I'm trying to get a group together to play Destiny 2, we have packs A and B, but said person over here only has packs C and D, so we can't go do raid A. And it's just a pain in the butt. So it looks nice, it's great, and it has tight mechanics. It has everything there to be great, but they have fragmented and fractured their base their game so much. It's crazy. And the game I will bring back, not so much bring back. Now I don't really like Axel. Sorry, Split Differs. The game I would bring back, not so much bring it back with a remake. I want a sequel. Is Panzer Dragoon Saga. It is unlike any RPG still that I have ever played. The combat was fantastic. The story and the lore in the Panzer Dragoon was great. And I can just see this amazing RPG where you're flying around in a dragon fighting the Empire or whatever the hell the bad guy's going to be. So I would really love a Panzer Dragoon Saga remake. Yes, Azel, exactly. Pixel Slapper.
But don't they have that on the Nintendo Switch?
No, that's a Panzer Dragoon remake. And there's a difference. So Panzer Dragoon split off into two. The first one is the rail shooter, the Panzer Dragoon series, the main one. It includes Panzer Dragoon Zwei 2, and Panzer Dragoon Orta. But Panzer Dragoon Saga was the RPG, the JRPG. Oh, okay. And this is the one I want over here, the JRPG, Azel. Trust me, it's fantastic, and I love that game, and just talking about it makes me want to go play it right now. So, yeah, those are the 3 games I would get rid of. Sorry, Terry, but it is what it is.
I'm not butthurt about Assassin's Creed at all, so you don't need to apologize. It's fine. Assassin's Creed. I'm not sorry. Assassin's Creed is great, but yeah, I mean, it is a very milked franchise out of bajillion versions.
Actually, that was another game that I wanted it off, but bringing back Prince of Persia, though.
Yeah, they're bringing that back too. Yeah,
hope it's good.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, who's next?
You already decimated my choice for number 1. Get the hell out of it. So,
hey, no, I want to hear your take though.
You already heard my take, and we'll start all over again if you want. But no, it is not just, but the whole EA thing, the whole bunch of them need to go take a flying leap. But but so I'm going to just talk about the game I'd like to see more of to come back, and it will never happen because the studio had issues. But LA Noire, and I've mentioned it before, LA Noire or a story like that would be awesome. I mean, if you've never played that game, it's a great story, and the graphics were amazing for back when it was done. I mean, so yeah, that's one I would like to see more of that. I really would. They told a great story. It was, and it lived up to the name being noir. I don't even know if I ever pronounced that word right, but it was basically an old gumshoe cop show, with chapters and the way it told the story. You felt like you were watching an old TV show, that you were actually in control of that TV show. Yeah. And I don't know if anybody remembers how awesome when that game came out, but look at what they did with the faces, because it was one of the first ones where they used the faces in the game to tell the story. Can you tell this person's lying by the way they moved their eyes, and things like that. Yeah, I would love more of that. And even though the studio's gone, I mean, those people have still got to be out there somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, great call. The facial animation stuff in that game was second to none. Yeah. But that was their shtick. That was one of the big highlights of that game where they really went all in on that stuff. That was great.
Yeah. I mean, it was sad to see that group go though, because with all the problems they had. Because it was really an incredible game, and the remake they did, or the remaster they did a few years ago on the Xbox One X, amazing. So if you've never played it, go grab it. Seriously, it's a great game.
I own it on PC. It's been on my backlog for a long time. I keep meaning to get to it, and I just don't get to it. I've been meaning to.
You like story-driven games. I think you'll like.
Well, I know I'm gonna like it because I love the Godfather franchise. I loved Mafia. Like I know I'm gonna love it. It's just those games. It's just.
I want the Godfather to come back. I want a remake or remaster of the Godfather.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those were amazing.
Nice. Yeah. I actually like the Scarface game they did too. I thought that was actually pretty well done. Yeah. So
you just like to say hello to my little friend part,
Tony Montana. Yeah, great stuff. Okay, who else haven't had a chance to?
All right, I'll go next.
Go ahead, Terry.
I found it kind of funny because Newf brought up the topic, and some of the members here were like, "That's a tough topic." And as soon as he brought it up, I had like 20 games I could list off the top of my head that needed that.
Wow, you harbor some feelings, Terry.
So literally,
her number one game is Halo. She wants it to burn in hell, but
I'm not a fan of Halo, but I don't want it to die because they don't melt the hell out of it like they do other franchises. So I have no qualms with Halo. Just because of that.
Right.
But what I've done is I've just been crossing off the ones on my list that other people have been mentioning because I got so many, so it works out. So for me, the ones that I still have on my list, and I'm only going to name 3. Mario needs to die. I'm so tired of seeing his face. They have like 20 plus versions of games that have him in it every year. I'm like, come on, Mario. Put him in retirement for a while. I would love to see them just make one full solid Mario game a year and let it be that. Just one a year, make it really amazing. And that's that. I don't need to have 20 games where he cameos in it just so they can sell it because his name is on the cover. Yeah. Like it's overdone. It's overplayed. Like I know Mario is the face of Nintendo, but gosh dang it, he needs some alone time. Yes. Give the guy a vacation. He needs it. You overworking him. Just Mario needs to go away for a while. All right.
Nintendo needs a facelift, is what you're saying. Okay.
Yes. You want to know what my favorite thing about Mario games is right now, Terry? Is that Nintendo is so lazy about making a new Mario game is that they put out Mario Maker and let the fans make the next Mario game.
Let's make your game for you. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. And then the next one that I'm going to list off is Final Fantasy. That is another franchise that has been overly milked to death in like the timeline makes no sense. They jump all over the place. I don't understand what's going on in Final Fantasy. It's just move on. Like let it go for a while. Like it needs to stop. Final Fantasy is overplayed.
Just the name alone is kind of is it irony? They call it Final Fantasy, but the series is never final.
Yeah. Oh man. It's just I'm not a fan of the series. I'm just tired of seeing it. I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm just over it. I'm so over Final Fantasy. It just needs to go away. Mm-hmm. And then the biggest one, and I know I'm gonna get hate for it because it's the biggest one.
No Halo.
Pokemon needs to die. I'm tired of Pokemon. Pokemon this, Pokemon that. No more Pokemon. It needs to burn. Let it go.
Terry, you're my hero today, Terry.
I'm so sick of Pokemon. All right, Pokemon was amazing back when it first came out when I was a kid. All right, it was amazing when it was new and exciting and it was revolutionary. But now it's just beaten to death. Just let it lay. Just bury it. Let it die. Leave it alone. No more Pokemon.
Pokemon green, blue, shit color, all the 9 years.
I'm so sick of Pokemon. So no.
You want to know the best part?
If they came out and said, yeah, exactly. If they came out and said we're gonna put Pokemon in the vault, I will throw a party. I will throw a party to celebrate it. Like, seriously.
Right. We're all tired of seeing Ash Ketchum's pocket monster. Okay, I'm just saying.
Ash finally became a Pokemon master after 18 years, guys. Come on.
I know Pokemon Go came out. I had to watch all these idiots going around my city like with their cell phone, like almost bumping into shit. Like what the heck?
It's sad to say because I remember when Pokemon was new, and if you got like a holographic card, like that was amazing. Those were special. Nowadays, I'm seeing kids open these cards. They get these cool holographic cards. They're like, "Oh, these are all crap." It's like they took the luster out of it because there's so many of them that they've released that now the cards that used to be cool are lame. Like, come on. It's just. No, I'm over it. Pokemon needs to die.
Mr. M, hello to Mr. M in the chat. So you just got rid of about 80% of the gaming industry interests. Terry has their way. We're going to be down to like a 20% game attach rate. Which kills all the big franchises. It's crazy.
Yes, no more Pokemon. I'm serious though. I'll throw a party if Pokemon goes away forever.
What are you bringing back, or did you mention all your 3?
The one that I would bring back would actually be Driver. Driver was one of the best racing games, back during the PlayStation 1 era. And it was originally created by Atari, and they did a fantastic job with the franchise. It had a story. It did have a story, and it was back when racing games actually had good stories. And then Ubisoft bought it, and I love Ubisoft, I do, but Ubisoft killed it. So the last one that we had that Ubisoft did was San Francisco, and I didn't like San Francisco. I mean,
Yeah,
the
nobody
driver
did.
was way better way before San Francisco. So Ubisoft single-handedly killed driver. Ubisoft has had a lot of practice now at racing games with Crew 1 and 2. So I know they could do a good quality now. So I would love for them to, dust off driver and actually do it right. And that would make me so happy because driver used to be amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing back in the day. And it's just a shell of what it was. It needs to come and then bring it back and make it great. That's all I want. Bring it back and make it great.
Amen to that. Great stuff. Good. All right, who has not had a chance to have your say? Everybody's good?
Yeah, so far.
All right. I'll try to make mine quick, to the point, and hopefully not start any more feisty arguments. To Michelle Alexandria, if you're still in the chat, which I don't know if you are, I won't apologize for being right on that particular opinion. But I will apologize for being rude, okay? Not my intention to be rude and say nasty things to anybody in the chat for having an opinion that's... it's not how I intended to do things, but regardless, I will apologize for being perhaps a little bit rude in the way I came across there. I do appreciate each and every viewer that comes to the show, whether you watch the show live, you catch it on the replay. Your opinion, I said, is no more valid or invalid than anybody here on the panel, right? If that's what you like, that's what you like. You spend your hard-earned money how you like, and that's it. And there's no change it. The industry is the way it is, and I don't think there's enough of us out there to change it, whether we think we're right or not. See you later, Pixel Slapper. Take care, man. But anyway, here's mine. First and foremost, number one is easy. Fortnite. And I mean, I would just get rid of it. And I'm going to say that because I've never understood what the catch was of Fortnite. I think there's 100 games out there that do it as good, if not better, than anything Fortnite has done. It just seems to be, it's became a culture phenomenon. That's what it is. It's become a cultural phenomenon. It started and stuff too that just drives me because it's just so silly in every regard. And I can't even play it. So on the game itself, I can't go and say it's a crap game because I never played it. And I'm not going to say it's a crap game. I just don't like anything about it. It's kind of like the Pokemon thing. This thing has been done to death. It's become a culture phenomenon, and I don't understand what the hype is behind it. Then you see all these little kids are coming into my store doing floss dances and all this crap and this weird shit in the game, and you're building stuff while you're shooting stuff. That right there, that was the first turn off for me. When I saw people building stuff on the fly and hiding behind walls, I said to myself, if I play this game, I'm going to curse at it to no end. It's bad enough with lag. It's bad enough with all the other things, let alone some kid that plays it 24/7 shooting me and then building some kind of a brick wall or a house. And I was just like, oh my God, man, this game is just absolutely nuts. And again, would Fortnite be anywhere if it wasn't free to play? Because before it was free to play, it was actually a charged game. Believe it or not, people who don't know, Fortnite was a game that you actually paid for, and it didn't have Battle Royale. But then Battle Royale started to become popular, all thanks to PUBG, and they copied it and basically made, hey, it's going to be free to play. And they basically put Fortnite on everything but a fringe. I think Fortnite is now in more places than Skyrim, which is absolutely crazy. And there you have it. This unbelievable success of a game that I was hate and just wish would go away, out of sight, out of memory, out of mind, but it's not. It's here to stay, and I'm just going to have to deal with it. It's like a turd you can't flush. Okay. Second of all, I guess I would say, and I don't want this one to go away, but I will say Assassin's Creed. Because I love the franchise, I want it to come back. I wish it would go back to its original roots. I wish it would be more of a story-based narrative game. I wish it would be more like, say, in the vein of a God of War or something like that, or even like its original games, which certainly were, it's a little bit open world, but still were a bit more on the story focus. Now these games have become so massive, so entrenching. I think my attention deficit kicks in or something like that, because or was it the OCD where you just kind of do everything and you can't concentrate because there's just too much crap going on. And there's too many of them. I think the series has the potential to be great, not just good. Some people will say it's great. Some people love the new direction, and I guess those people are pushing the industry forward for that game more than the people that don't like it. So there's that, right? But I don't. I like the older ones, and I think the graphics are great in the new ones. I think the handling keeps getting better, but I want it to be more of a stealthy game. I want it to be, like I said, more focused on story and stuff as opposed to just, I mean, they still have stories, but it just seems like it's hard to follow them because there's just so much crap going on, so many side missions, so many collectibles, level based, combat systems now and everything. Whereas before there was none of that. You just either kick people's butt or you didn't. That sort of thing. So Assassin's Creed, and I don't want it to go away. I just wish it would get better, much like the sports games. And I will say the same thing. Call of Duty, it just needs to go away for a nice long time. And it's not because I hate it; it's because I actually love it, and I just don't like where the series has gone. As I said, it's turned into more of a cash grab as opposed to let's make this game great. Everybody remember, you know what's funny? Because everybody remembers Modern Warfare when it came out, right? Because prior to Modern Warfare, all Call of Duty was World War II games, right? Go back and play Call of Duty 2, and which we're actually going to do that on special community game night, which I'll talk about at the end of the show. And just tell me how different it is compared to new ones. It still functions the same. You can pick it up and play it like any other Call of Duty game, but it doesn't have all of this funny weapons. It doesn't have weird skins. It doesn't have these perks. It doesn't have it. It's just a pure shooter at its finest. Still one of my favorites to this day. Loved it. And I'm going to play it soon. But I just want that franchise to get better. I think they need a couple years just to burn it down, but it's not going to happen, and just restart fresh. They don't have to get rid of the formula that makes it great. They still have kept it. That's why Call of Duty games do still sell, because they haven't changed the formula. They just changed the coat of paint on the wall. They slapped some more copy and paste elements to it. As a matter of fact, I think even Axel alluded to it, how a lot of their maps are not even new maps. They're really is just reskins. I mean, how many times are you going to do Nuketown? But put a new paint on it, that one. And there's a few other ones just like it. It's like, come on, guys. And then they had the audacity. They're the first company that started with the overpriced DLC way back in the 360 mode that started a trend that was a downward spiral where people were paying way too much for skins, way too much for maps.
Map packs.
Map packs that were $15 and $16 for like 4 little maps or whatever, and most of them, like I said, copy and paste crap. Oh, here's 2 new originals, and here's 2 of our old ones just have new paint on them, and you paid for that crap. And this is what I'm saying. It's almost like you're getting something you love, but at the same time, you got Activision going, hey, you got it. We slapped you too. You dumbass kind of thing. So that, and I think I said my 3. And one I would definitely bring back is a little franchise that's near and dear to me, but I would like them to bring it back in a modern way. And that is Shinobi. Sega's Shinobi character has the potential to be amazing, especially now with the resurgence in combat action games, ninja games in general, like with Ninja Gaiden sort of having a little bit of resurgence, and you see that style of game coming back. But why hasn't Sega done anything with the property? Now, here's a couple ideas that I would have for them. I think, one, you could try to do something totally original, have a first-person Shinobi game. I think that would be really exciting to actually play with a sword, much in the vein of, what was it, that game, Mirror's Edge? Was it Mirror's Edge with the girl? Kind of do it like that, but of course make it active and stealthy. And make a game that's obviously fun and accessible, but not punishing like Ninja Gaiden, where you got to know 40 different combos to beat stuff. Or another way to do it is bring Shinobi back and do it in a modern era with the current technology, but do it digitized. Because remember, digitization was a thing. Mortal Kombat started with digitized characters in a game. Shinobi even copied it on the Sega Saturn with Shinobi Legions. It was a digitized characters on a 2D landscape, and it looked phenomenal. You can play it today, and it still looks awesome. And then it had the full motion videos in between the levels, which was really cool. It reminded me of those old 80s Sho Kazuki movies. How about doing something like a modern take on that? But do it with today's technology and today's digitization techniques. Bring something back from the old, but make it new. That would be freaking cool. I think it would be like a new age digitization game without all of the sub 480 pixelization and crap. Like with today's processing power, it would probably look absolutely nuts. So that's what I would bring back, and that's not going to happen. I don't know what's, like I said, Sega is just sitting on so many IPs that should be back. And be prominent, but they're not. They keep, and nothing wrong with them making new stuff, but so much of it's hit and miss. They'll hit one out of the park, and then they kind of go, and heck, you can almost use the Bayonetta engine and make another Shinobi game, and that would be pretty cool, right? Bayonetta is almost like a female Shinobi in a sense, except her hair is her suit. But anyway, that's my takes right there.
Now, are you
Axel?
talking Shinobi like the old Sega Genesis Shinobi, or the one that came out on PlayStation 2?
No, the Genesis Shinobis. That PlayStation 2, that wasn't Shinobi to me. I didn't even get excited for that one. He just the character design, everything about that game was off to me. I want the old Shinobis, like Revenge of Shinobi kind of deal.
Yeah,
Shinobi,
Shinobi
3.
3
Bring
is the
that
best one
original
there is.
Shinobi Joe Musashi. Bring that character back, and make it cool. Great characters there. So yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
Or bring Contra back. We need Contra. A better Contra.
Brian Gibo, I'm really loving that PlayStation exclusive game called Twitter.
Oh,
Wow.
That's a big hit right now.
Oh,
All
yes,
right.
it is.
Alrighty. Let's get back into it. We'll try to close the show. Maybe one more topic. Hopefully, won't keep everybody too long this morning. I guess just real quickly, and Paul will definitely probably want to take a bit of a point on this one. We're going to quickly, new 19 minutes of Elden Ring gameplay was shown off. Game definitely looks astonishing, amazing character design in this game. It's absolutely nuts. Again, there's one thing I love about From Software is that they pull me in with their worlds and their character design. Their games look astounding. They definitely have a knack for making these really cool story-based games. But the one thing that turns me off, as well as many people, is the accessibility of said titles. I've tried my damnedest to play them. I find them a bit too unforgiving. Very OP bosses. Again, people beat them and they love them, I guess, for the difficulty. That whole feeling of accomplishment when they do it. But my gigs question is, first of all, how many more copies of these games could they sell if they just made it more accessible? Does that take away from the people that can beat it on the regular difficulty with whatever? I don't think so. But should they offer? I totally think they should. That's just my opinion. Again, my opinion. Just because I would love to be immersed in their worlds, but I don't think they need to make their worlds punishing for every freaking player. Like, yeah, some people, they just play them so much, it's like second nature, and I get it. But why can't you offer a game that has a mode? Heck, I don't even care if I get achievements or trophies. Like, you could take them out for me. I wouldn't care less. I just like to play the game and have a chance to experience their worlds without playing for an hour and cursing for the next hour, right? Bloodborne, couldn't get into it. Checkpoints were too freaking far apart. You die and then you start it all over again. And that nothing makes me swear more than, look, and people say, well, that was the way it was back in the 80s and the 90s on Genesis and Super Nintendo. Yeah, but that was the 80s and 90s when we didn't have modern gaming, man. Like if I go back and play those old games now, trust me, Axel, I hate this. I tried to go back and play the Mega Man games. Can't do it. You miss a jump, you die. Everything, I can't do it. I can't play half of those games. I could when I was a kid because I had the patience, and that's all I knew. There was nothing different. That's what we accepted. That's not modern gaming, though. That's the thing. Like, I don't know. Did they make these games hard on purpose? I don't know. But anyway, let's let Paul. You take the reign as it, because I think, Paul, you would like to play them, but you've said before they're not accessible to you.
Nope, won't even try them. I won't even bother. Because, like you, I would end up getting angry, throwing stuff, cussing, screaming, having explained to the neighbor's kids what certain words mean. But it's, but yeah, and it's come up before in my timeline, and for other games that are like that, and they go, well, if you make it accessible, or make it easy or add an easy mode, it takes away from the view of the from what the developer intended. Well, what the developer actually probably intended was for people to play a game, and for whatever reason, they're leaving literally, just on. I know this. I don't even know if it's an Xbox game. I don't. That's how much I don't follow it. But in Xbox alone, there are 400,000 people that identify with some sort of disability, and we've had this discussion before. That's the entire gamut, from visual to mental to physical. So if you don't make your game accessible, you're leaving literally hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people that are going to go, not even going to bother. And that's a lot of money to leave on the table. Yeah, you're leaving a lot of money on the table.
Those games sell well. They sell well enough to get sequels. But imagine how many more copies they could sell if they just had those options, Paul.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. And that's why
millions more.
That's why I consider Game Pass part of the accessibility suite, because I will try games that I would never ever have thought of trying before. if you were to put like in that game or any of the other roguelike games that are really really tough, like Shakira or whatever it's called,
Mm-hmm.
I would try it. I would hate it. I would
Sekiro.
uninstall it. Whatever. I would try it. I would hate it. I would uninstall it. But I would at least have the opportunity to try it.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
because, and I've talked real quick, I've talked about it before.
yeah.
I don't want to throw away 60, 70, 80 bucks on a game that I'm not going to be able to play.
Yeah.
And that has happened so much in the 80s and the 90s and the good old days of gaming when games were tough. Yeah, bite me. You know, it's like, so, okay, now you can go ahead and say what you're going to say.
I was just going to say a couple little things. I think they could have a game mode called adaptive game mode, where it's not necessarily easy, but basically, again, the AI reacts to the fact that you are getting punished and sort of eases off. You know, maybe there's a little bit less enemies in the level the next time you do the playthrough, or the save anywhere feature instead of always waiting for punishing checkpoints while your stuff depletes. And or taking away the fact that, you know, some of these games you lose half of your items and you lose XP every time you die, and then you're scrounging to go back and find your crap again to just build yourself back up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like they have these game choices on purpose, but just do a couple of little things. Sometimes you'd be amazed at how much more accessible games could be for that alone.
Yeah, like for me, one I can talk about is Quake Eternal. I love the way it looks. I love the way the parts of it I've been able to play. But there's way too much action going on the screen. I have to move, jump, shoot, and twist around too much, and I can't do it. You know, I can't. So it's like I had to uninstall the game. As much as people go, "Oh, this game is awesome. This game is great. We should play it." Nope. I'm done. You know, unless they go back and add stuff that'll make it more accessible, I can't play it. And what's cool is some developers are going back and adding accessibility after the fact. Control did that. A few other games I've run into that I've reinstalled, all of a sudden they added stuff to their accessibility. So the developers are starting to know, especially the ones that work with Microsoft, because Microsoft is making it a focus that we need to do better. You know, accessibility should, to me, we won't be there until it becomes the normal, not the exception.
Here's a great analogy for you guys to put it in perspective. Let's take the game of basketball. Not every single person is 6'6" and can dunk a ball. Okay. Does that mean everybody that can't go up and slam dunk the ball should stop playing basketball? No. Everybody should be able to play basketball if they want to play basketball. Should a weightlifter that can't lift 500 pounds over his head, should he automatically stop? Maybe he gets a personal best of 310, and that's great for him. But the other guy he's doing 500 pounds over his head. Great for him too. But does that mean that anybody that can't push 500 pounds automatically has to stop being in weightlifting? That's why they have weight classes. That's why they have different challenge levels. This is what I'm saying. It should be no different with gaming. That's just my thoughts. I totally get the challenge, guys. I totally get it. And I applaud you for it. I applaud you. I'm not saying, but I still think, and people hate me on it when I say it. They get upset. It's like, does it take away from the fact that you can beat it on that difficult? As I said, you put in certain achievements or certain things in the game, perhaps that, or like, oh, you get a special outfit, or you can play the game on a certain mode, perhaps if you beat it on the toughest difficulty. But for the rest of us, we shouldn't be punished just because we can't beat it. That's all I'm going to say. I'll let the rest of you guys have it.
Anyway, I think I should finish this one out.
Should I?
Go ahead, Shaddai or Terry.
No. For me, I'm with Newf. Everybody should play. You know, it shouldn't be only easy, normal, hard mode. It should be accessible for for everybody, no limits. That's what our games are made for, so everybody could play, no one left behind. And for them, from software or anybody else to at least create something to make it easier for other people to enjoy, that's a huge plus. And for me, that's what it should. That's what it always should be. Everybody to enjoy. I don't know why people are saying, "Oh, it should." Are you trying to say the game should be easy and ruin the experience that I will have? No, because the experience is still there. It's just something small that should be added to accommodate for other people also. So it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Everybody should enjoy their game. That's the way I feel, and that's the way I see it.
Well, have you noticed there's a lot of games coming out now that actually give you a mode to play the cinematic mode? So basically, it's a very low difficulty where you can enjoy the story. I think Mass Effect might even have it. I see Death Stranding, I think, had a mode like that. So there are more games that are adding this to it, where they give that option to kind of play with a difficulty that's just like you're just playing through. You're not, I think that's cool.
No, it doesn't. I think Psychonauts is the one who have accessibility for that. Am I right, Paul?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Psychonauts is fully accessible for pretty much everybody, for the most part. They sighted blind players still have issues with Psychonauts because they don't have the sound cues that they need for certain aspects of it. But yeah, Psychonauts brought it a long way, and I've said this before, and even I get some grief that not every game can be made accessible for everybody by the design of the game. But that where they can, they should.
Exactly, and look at now. No complaints nor anything like that. Now the only thing that we're talking about is pretty much Psychonauts 2 is gonna be contender of game of the year. What does that mean? That it didn't ruin anybody's experience. It's just something so everybody who actually play and have fun with the game.
Right. Yep. Even though you'll still get those that want to be gatekeepers that say, well, you shouldn't get achievements because you played it on, with God mode on or, whatever. I'm like, and I'll go back to why does that affect you? Why does my getting achievements affect your gameplay? Or, do you really care that I have a higher achievement score than you do?
No, achievements are pretty. Achievements are just either are just challenges. That's pretty much it. If you want to do them, an achievement hunter, go for it. I don't know why people are stressing those things. But at the end of the day, the person will actually say, even you, Paul, said it's a really good game, Psychonaut. So it's not gonna ruin anybody's experience. It's just pretty much more people get to enjoy that game.
Yep, exactly. Yep. And that's what we're going for. That's the whole focus. It's not, What am I missing?
The chat. Lots of funny shit in the chat.
I find that whole thing kind of contradicts itself with the whole achievement thing. I'm like, who cares if you're getting achievements on one difficulty? I mean, a lot of the trophy achievement hunters literally will go out of their way playing a game like I Am Mayo just to get an easy platinum. So what does difficulty have anything to do with it? But most of those guys are looking for easy platinum games. You know what I mean? So
I know.
It contradicts itself. I pretty much agree with pretty much all you guys. I mean, there's nothing wrong with options. I mean, people who want to have a beating can have a beating as long as they can switch the setting on or off. For those that want some more accessibility, that's fine. I feel like it's just the stigma that like From Software and other developers have with those kind of games, where it's expected that those games are supposed to give you a thrashing. Neither you succeed or you don't, and it's kind of like bragging rights if you get through it. And so the people who get through it, they hold that over everybody else who don't. And it's just one of those things where it's like, why does it matter? Again, right? Why does it matter? So yeah, no, it's just bragging rights, and people kind of need to get over their ego, a little bit. Is like, who cares? Who cares if you can speed run, Dark Souls, in an hour? And somebody might need to take like a year. Who cares? So it's just let people play it. If they want to have ability.
I may still get the same stress and stress from playing something on easy that you do on hard.
Yeah, like what's it going to come down to? The players that don't beat Halo on insane difficulty are not Halo players anymore? Is that what we're going to come down to? Oh, you guys suck at Halo. You didn't beat it on insane. You didn't spend 40 hours dying to finally beat the boss. Who gives a shit? Sorry, my language again. Who gives a crap?
If you haven't experienced the Halo 2 snipers, you haven't played Halo.
Good for you.
Give people the option. I'm just saying, just give people the option. Yeah. If you want to get absolutely destroyed and die 100+ times before you get to the next checkpoint, then all power to you. And then if somebody wants out, and if somebody wants to turn accessibility features on, so they only die maybe 10 times, then who cares? I mean, they're not taking from your experience. You can still die 100 times if you want to die 100 times. If that means something to you, then, have at it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a sense of accomplishment. Like I said, I applaud those who have and I say the patience is the biggest thing, because I don't think the people that beat some of these games are necessarily more skilled than a lot of us at said games. Because honestly, if you were to play if some of these people who beat these super hard games were to play me in, say, a first-person shooter or Gears, I might mop the floor with them. It's because that's my jam, right? So they're skilled at those games, probably because with what I've learned from playing those games, I have played them at least. I've tried them. Heck, I went out and bought Sekiro. I was like, man, I got to try this. It looks really cool. Played it for a bit and got really pissed off with it and said, you know what? And I traded it in. I was like, and I said, this is the last time I'm buying these From games. I've learned my lesson, because every time I play them for a couple hours. I swear, I start threatening to break shit, and I'm done. I just don't have the patience. So. And like I said, because we beat it on easy doesn't invalidate the fact that someone else beat it on hard. I said, I applaud you. You have patience. You have, obviously, yes, there's skill and patience and timing and all that stuff. But again, it should not invalidate someone else. And again, I think it's a crying shame, because how many sales do these guys leave off the table? How many audiences could their games reach by simply making a few tweaks? And everybody enjoys their story. Is that what game developers want? Is people to enjoy their stories? It's like, I'm a game developer. I'm so happy that 75% of the people that bought my game never finished it. Oh, that's lovely. That's great. How would a movie director feel if said, 70% of the people went into my movie theater to watch my movie and walked out? Right? You'd probably be like, that's not good. You want people to complete your game, do you not?
Yeah, but that also kind of ties into the argument of exclusivity then too, because by making your game exclusive, you're literally saying this X percentage of gamers can never play my game. So,
exactly. That is it. It is. It's almost like saying, screw the rest of you guys.
Like, we want you to play our game, but guess what? Only this percentage are going to play it because we're going to put it on X platform. But
only 5% of males love getting kicked in the nuts.
But another thing. I feel a lot of it is also who you hang out with. If you hang out with a group of people who are gamers that have that mentality of, having to brag and the whole get good kind of attitude, you're also going to have that attitude, and you're not going to see the other perspective because you're surrounded by that toxicity. I mean, I'm guilty of it. I used to be right there. I used to, always brag about how I beat all my games on the hardest difficulty, and my one buddy always played it on like normal or easy, and I always give him crap about how he played it on kid mode. I used to be there. That was my thing. And then I've kind of had my awakening over the last 3 years, and I've distanced myself from those people. I don't play games with them. I don't associate with a lot of them. I've separated myself from those people because I realize I'm not a good person around those people because they're not good people. And it's allowed me to be more open-minded and not gatekeep, especially being on this podcast, getting to know Paul a little bit more, and hearing his perspective on it. It's a perspective that, 3 years ago, I definitely wasn't having, and it's, it's a big thing. So who you play with and who you hang out with really shapes your personality and how you're going to behave on these things. And there's a lot of toxicity in gaming as a whole. So if we start separating ourselves from toxic gamers, then we'll become less toxic, and then developers are going to, probably not going to be.
And what's the other argument that we hear? We hear the people in the community. We hear them in the community say, "Oh, well, you can't beat Dark Souls, but you know what? That's okay because there's 40 other games out there for you." That's what you hear. There's other games out there for you then. But like, if you look at the stories, their characters, they're games that literally, like, most people want to play. There's other games out there very similar to it, but I still think you should always make your games with your largest audience in mind and not your smaller niche audience in mind. That's all I'm saying. Heck, you could put them on easy, and maybe some people would never beat it. But that's the more of a personal option, And like I said, and then there's the physical side of the accessibility too, where again, not everybody has the same thing coming in, whether it's a physical disablement, a visual, a hearing, whatever. So they got to make those options as well. More companies are.
Real quick, I don't know if you remember from my discussions with people, I'd say I have trouble doing this. Well, I know this guy who has one arm and plays with the controller with his feet, and he beat it. I'm like, yeah, I'm not him. Congratulations to him. You know.
Yeah, and how many hours did it take that guy to perfect that, right?
Yeah.
I also know a guy who has played through one of the Zelda games. He's played through one of the Zelda games completely blindfolded. Like, good on him. He's played it a bajillion times. He knows it in and out. I mean, that doesn't mean I'm going to be able to play that game. I have, I don't need accessibility features to that extent to play through that game. But I can tell you right now, that guy playing it blindfolded is probably going to do a lot better than me playing it for my very first time. So who cares?
Sightless Combat, who some of us here know, he would kick our butts in Gears. He would kick our butts in Gears. It's got all the sound cues he needs and stuff. He does amazing. It's like, and he's 100% blind. He's not he's legally blind. No, he's 100%, has never been able to see a lick in his life. And he does some amazing stuff in games. Yeah.
Wow.
And as I said, if you beat those games in some of the hardest difficulties, you just add some bonuses. Something, again, yes, they can have their bragging right. Perhaps not necessarily a trophy, because I think you should also give most people a chance to gain achievements and stuff. But perhaps it's a special outfit, or perhaps it's something in the game that's just added, so people know, okay, that person has accomplished the highest feat, and good on them. I really could care less. I don't care. That's great for you. But just, there's ways to do it without, obviously, like I said, punishing another section of the audience.
All right. Okay.
Go ahead,
I'm going to give my sense here.
Go ahead. I got a feeling.
I am obviously the masochist here, where I would like that every pixel counts. Right. I can beat the Mega Man games, all that good stuff. There's two schools of this. There's not being able to beat the game because you just aren't good enough and don't want to take the time to get good enough. Mm-hmm. And then there's you can't beat the game because you physically can't. You were born with an inability to enjoy the game. So, and once again, that's something that Paul has brought to light on me, that like, oh, you guys all just need to get good. And Paul's like, well, I can't get good. Right? He physically cannot.
I've got as good as it's going to get. So this is where we're at. Yeah.
But Hidetaki Miyazaki, Miyazaki, who made the Dark Souls franchise, wanted to make a game that was hard, where every encounter mattered, but with tight controls and tight mechanics. And that's exactly what he set out to do with Dark Souls and this style of game, the Souls games. Right. And I like that. I like that scrub enemy number 1 has just as much of a chance of murdering you as boss number 25, I like that this is not a hack and slash. This takes thought to beat, you cannot just go balls to the wall swinging your sword, because you're going to die. Just flat out, you're going to die. That AI in these games is so smart that they will find a way around your hack and slash, style. Dark Souls is not a hack and slash, or Souls games are not a hack and slash style of game. They are like a game of chess and every encounter. And I love that about it. And there's strategies to it. You can sneak up on people. You can backstab them to make extra damage, all kinds of little strategies. And you can cheese bosses. People will always find ways to cheese bosses, but you still need skill to cheese the bosses. You need to understand the game mechanics to cheese them. And so to me, I like the approach that Dark Souls takes. It's not so much that I think he wants to exclude people, is that he wanted to make a game where encounters mattered and you needed to think. You needed to come into every encounter with a strategy. And this was most apparent in Sekiro. You can approach enemies from the front, from the back. You can sneak up on them. You can lay traps, all kinds of stuff, and you could jump. Finally, you could jump. And Sekiro changed it from the dodge style of avoiding attacks to parrying. So you had to be in there. Like, you had to be in their face to win. I remember playing Sekiro, blocking and blocking and blocking. There's a block button, and then there's a parrying button, trying to wait for an opening and trying to figure out, where's my opening to attack. And I loved that about it. where I had to think, where is my opening? How can I create an opening? What is this boss's tells? And there are some. I remember fighting a boss in Sekiro where you needed to parry them about 20 times in a row before one single opening to strike showed up. And I love that. You can't just go in there like, I'm going to slash my sword and kill this boss and not worry about my health. You can't do that. So now, with all that being said, with adding a
let me just say real quick while it's on my head, though, a lot of those same mechanics could be left by still making it so I could play it.
Right. So we go back towards it. Okay, so in Sekiro, to parry, you had to time your parrying, right? I don't think it would kill them to add an accessibility for someone that just holds the block button and it auto parries so that they can enjoy the game a little more, right? I don't think that would take away from the game personally. There are some encounters in Sekiro that are frustratingly hard. And same thing in Dark Souls. It is frustrating. You want to break everything around you difficult to figure it out. Until you figure it out, then you're like, oh, there's where it was. But to figure it out, you're dying and dying and dying and dying. And that's not a lot of fun to a lot of gamers, including myself. It took me 3 days to beat Lady Butterfly in Sekiro, one of the first bosses you encounter. I think she was like the second or third boss. It took me 3 days to figure her out.
Yeah.
And some people figure it out the first time.
Let me just say this, Axel. One thing for me, and this would change it a lot for me. The difficulty of the game is one thing, but if they at least had a save anywhere feature or a continue feature, where you didn't have to backtrack. Because if there's one thing that makes me mad more than anything, the dying is one thing. Okay, I get that, and I don't mind, but I don't like having to backtrack. I've already beaten this section. I've beaten those enemies. Why do I got to go way back to checkpoint whatever just because I died? Just keep it there. Just keep it going, and I'll keep playing it. But I don't want to be backtracking because then it gets repetitious to another level, and that's all I'm saying. That's one of the things that drives me nuts.
Right. I'm not going to say that adding accessibility is going to take away from Dark Souls because it could default to Dark Souls difficulty, right? It could default to that. And if you're dying a lot of times, maybe that's how it starts to unlock the more accessibility issues. I don't know how to fix this.
Right. Some games already do that, where if you're having trouble with a part, it stops and says, "Hey, we see you're having trouble. Do you want us to lower the difficulty, or do you want to just go on to the next part of the story?"
Right. I don't know how to fix the Miyakaze style of gameplay with accessibility without taking away from the fundamental, which is every encounter matters. That everybody can kill you, period. Right? You're not super, you're not overpowered, you're not anything. You're just like they are. Now, with all that being said, Elden Ring is more open worldish. It's added abilities, which a Dark Souls game has really never had, which is going to lead to even more epic cheesing of bosses. Shout out to the cheesing, help me get through some of them. But it looks fantastic, and I do think that some people are missing out on Sekiro. I'm going to use my cousin for an example. He's just as good at games as I am. The difference between him and me is time. Yeah. I have more time to invest than he does. I got through Sekiro, and he did not because he didn't have enough time to throw into it. And he knows it's a good game. He just hasn't experienced it because of the difficulty. And we're not Dark Souls gods. I'm not a Dark Souls god. I'm not like who is it? Luca.
Yeah.
I'm not like Luca.
She's crazy.
She's fantastic. I'm nowhere near her level, but I do like this. Every encounter matters. Your timing matters. The animations matter. You can't start healing in the middle of a boss or somebody swinging at you because you're going to get hit. You need to pick your times. You need to pick everything. So I love that style.
Here's a question for you. Why can't From, though, make a game that's not in the vein of those games? From Software doesn't have to be always known as, they're obviously a very talented developer. Why do they always have to be known now as the punishing game developer? Why can't they make a game in the vein? So when you buy a Dark Souls game, you know what you're up against. You know what to expect. So why can't they make another game and basically come out and say, this game is in the vein of our other games, but this one is a game that will have multiple difficulty levels or something like that. So still sort of they can tell their fans, we're still going to make our Dark Souls, we're still going to make our punching games, but we're also going to make some really cool shit that you can enjoy on multiple levels as well, and perhaps please everybody that way.
I think it's because of the success of Dark Souls. When you say sell that more people get to experience it. How many people bought Armored Core 5 or Steel Battalion Heavy Armor? They didn't review that well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who bought Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn? Nobody. Nobody I know bought them.
I'm just not going to buy anything with the name Unicorn in it anyway.
Hey, man, Gundam, Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn is fantastic. Right? They got that titanium on it. Dark Souls, once they did Dark Souls, I think that's when they started seeing a success because they went into it with a formula. Tight gameplay, not hack and slash. Because before this, everything was hack and slash. You maybe had some blocking to do here and there, but the counter to Dark Souls is hack and slash, and that's just not what they want to do with this game.
Yeah.
Now, once again, I lose nothing by them making it more accessible. I lose nothing by them adding or taking away achievements because I'm not an achievement guy. For Christ's sake, I've been on Xbox for 15 years, and I haven't broken 50,000 achievement points because I don't play for achievements. I just
You're
play
not
to
a gamer,
play.
man. You're not a gamer.
You're going to give me a gamer card, apparently. I'm just not an achievement hunter. I'm sorry. I'm not going to go around collecting all this crap here and there or killing someone in this way or that way. I'm just going to play.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, I think they should they be more inclusive? I think they have. I mean, when the Dark Souls community, right? Sekiro is the easiest game out of the lot so far. Quote unquote easiest. And they're saying that Elden Ring is going to be the most accessible game out of all of them so far. We'll see.
Isn't it co-op as well? The new one, Elden Ring? I heard it's co-op.
I don't remember seeing that on the gameplay thing. I remember them
saw it on the gameplay either.
So if any of the devs of Elden Ring wants to see how accessible it is, I am available for testing.
Yeah, I'm serious. Hook him up. Hook up that heart monitor to him. I like how you can summon helpers when you're outnumbered now, because in old Dark Souls and in Sekiro, if you're outnumbered, oh man, you're having a bad time. So I like that you can summon help. So it is different. It is different with the, I'm going to guess, the magic in the game. And it looks fantastic, and I can't wait to play it. But it does make me sad that I'm going to be gushing over Elden Ring probably, and nobody on this panel is going to be able to gush with me.
You know what? Maybe we'll see. Maybe I'll give it a try. And I will agree with you. Of the ones I played from Software, I did enjoy Sekiro the most because they changed the play style a bit. Okay, so I will say I'll give it that much. If there was either one I could see myself taking the time perhaps to go back and try to beat, would probably be that one.
Oh, it gets better, Newf. It gets better. And when I mean better, I mean harder.
Yeah. Well, I never got to that. What do you call it? That lady butterfly or whatever the heck you call her.
Yeah, lady butterfly.
I heard she's nasty.
Once you figure her out, she's not. But the whole thing with Sekiro is parrying. You have to parry to win. You can't block.
You don't even have to get to her, to be honest. You can play through the whole game and skip her. She's not necessary.
Yeah, I ran into her by accident early.
People are playing this Returnal one, and when I listen to people play Returnal, as cool as that game looks, and it was one of those games I considered for my PS5, when I saw video footage and heard people say, yeah, I just lost 3 hours of progress and got to start over, I was like, oh, no. I'm not playing biomes for hours just to get somewhere, die, and then start and go back 3 hours again. Oh my God! I'm like, that sounds like another level.
Imagine how I felt when I played Cuphead. Every single time I got hit by either a candy or something else.
Cuphead's defense, Cuphead levels are only like what? If you're good at Cuphead, a level is like 2 or 3 minutes. It's not antagonizing because they keep it small and simple. If those levels were 20 minutes long and you died and start over, I'd be like, oh.
Yeah, but sometimes, remember, the enemies blend to the background, and it's very hard to miss those enemies. Like, whatever.
You got to memorize in Cuphead. That's the old school difficulty. 2 to 3 minutes of memorization.
Yeah.
Starting over like that gives me the same feeling of anger when I play a game and I have 20 saves, and then my most recent save is corrupted, and I have to go back to a save that's over an hour ago, and I'm furious, you know.
Yeah.
No, like so roguelikes. I want to like roguelikes. I really do. I want to get into them. I want to play some. What is that? Hades. Hades has tight gameplay. I've played
Oh
it,
God, jeez.
but I hate that I have to beat it all in
Hades
one
is
life.
cool.
I hate that I have to beat it all in one life. I hate that. Same thing with like Returnal. You have to beat it all in one life, and I hate that. Roguelikes, and then if you get a good mix of like in Hades, you get blooms. If you get some nice blooms, yeah, you're gonna make it far because it goes to your playstyle. But you can also get blooms that you absolutely despise and don't help you any which way, and it's just too much RNG, too much starting over. I'm sorry, I just cannot get into roguelikes. As good as some of them are, people they look awesome. They do have tight gameplay. I can't do it in one run.
Yeah.
I just can't.
Well, was Hades really meant to be done in one run? I mean, because every time you die, you quote die, you go back and you get better stuff, so you continue to get stronger.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing about roguelikes too. The more you play, the more you unlock.
Plus, Hades has the accessibility stuff, which improved upon that. Mm-hmm. If you continue to die, you all of a sudden your defenses naturally went up a little better. I enjoyed Hades for what it was.
So like, there's this old there was this bullet hell roguelike called Gungeon, Enter the Gungeon.
Mm-hmm.
And I played that game for 2 or 3 months trying to get into this roguelike, and no, just no. F that. Screw that game. I love bullet hells because I love shoot 'em ups, but just the RNG aspect of it, of not getting the good guns, and then you go into the hard level under under equipped because you didn't get any good guns or any good mix of guns. It just So if you want to, roguelikes to me are what Dark Souls are to you.
Eternal Shaddai, just you're up there kind of quiet, so I'm guessing you're probably used to things pretty hard by now in prison, right?
No, the shower is the dark soul of life over there.
Is it roguelike? They sneak up on you? What?
No. It's not being quiet. It's just when I'm listening to you guys, the thing that comes to mind was when I play Cuphead, when I play Ninja Gaiden. That is always tough, especially with Sekiro. It took me a month just to beat the first boss, just because I couldn't parry him while he's on the horse. So it's pretty tough, and sometimes when I get aggravated by it, I'm like, you know what? I put it to the side. I will try my best to come back if I get the time, because it actually sucks the heck out of you when it comes to hard games like that. So they're fun, but I think those type of hard games, it kind of I left them back into the NES era, where you have to actually, like in Mario, you have to be like this close to the pit so you could jump, like time it really nicely. So I left it there. But right now the games, they're pretty much getting very intelligent lately, and the difficulty way harder than before. Yeah. So no, it's just not being quiet. Just I'm pretty much listening to each and one of you, and it gave me a lot of flashbacks on the games that actually I never tossed a controller before, but it did create a lot of gray hairs for me. So yes.
Like I said, at the end of the day, again, you speak with your wallet. You don't have to buy them. You don't have to play them. You don't, and that's just it, right? I don't buy them. I don't play them. I just think it's sad because I want to. Like, you look at these games. There's lots of these games out there that you want to play, but you just don't because you know what you're getting into. And we all know ourselves. And for me, I know that I have very limited patience. And I have a tendency sometimes to get so angry that I destroy things. It's not a good trait of mine, something I'm not really proud of, but I do say it happens. And I have destroyed consoles in the past from getting that mad. Wow. And so I do not want to do that in the future. It gets expensive, especially now, more so than the past. Yeah, no, Call of Duty pissed me off to a royal degree one time that I literally destroyed a 360, and that's when they were expensive. It's not when they were low price. But I had disposable income back then. I don't have it now, not too much of it anyway. So, but yeah, I know me, and I know if I'm not having fun, that's the bottom line. When I get to so part that I'm angry and I'm not having fun, I don't want to play, and that's sad because then I know I don't want to play the game. And that's, again, why I still buy physical, because then if I buy physical and I get pissed off at the game, guess what, guys? I bring it back. I get something for it. If I buy it digital, I'm out my money. That's it. Newfonomics. Newfonomics pays off for me sometimes. So that's just me. But anyway.
That is true. There are some games that you regret buying. We all done it.
We all do it. We all do it. But anyway. Any further thoughts? We're probably not going to get into everything today. This show has definitely gone a bit longer than I expected, but that's okay. We had great discussions today, some fantastic topics, and again, great opinions from the chat, from everybody on the panel. To everybody that's here, I hope I give everybody a shout out. As Titan Drago's joining us in the house here. The Wise Old Gamer's been hanging out and cracking us up as always. Pixel Slap It, Joe Dunmore. Doggy Dog is always here. Princess Zelda hanging out with us as well. Just the who's who. Fantastic chat as always. We hope that, certainly in my case, I hope I didn't make too many people too angry with me today. Sometimes I get very passionate and it turns people off. Just my opinions, no more, no less. Again, we just hope you enjoyed watching the podcast and don't take anything too seriously. You are entitled to like what you like and spend your money on what you like. It is your money. That's what gaming is all about. So my opinion doesn't make it a right opinion. Again, it's just my opinion. So, but anyway, any further ado, any final notes before we do our outros?
No, sir.
Okay.
Good.
So let's do them right now. Again, Scrub Nurse, as always, he had to get kind of the work calls, so he's been leaving our podcast pretty much at the 2-hour mark, and that's okay. We told him that's cool. We understand life. Life goes on, man, and work calls. If we don't work and make money, we ain't buying no games. So there you go. It's always the hardest thing in life is trying to make money. Eternal Shaddai, where can people catch up with you, my brother?
People can find me at Twitter at Eternal Shaddai, also on Xbox consoles at Eternal Shaddai. I do podcasting in Spanish on Facebook Gaming and also on YouTube called Cultura de Mancos. And also, you can find me on Twitch streaming. Pretty soon I'll be streaming back again at ETE Shaddai. And also, Sunday's here. Every single, with you guys, having fun.
Nice. All righty. Let's get over to Axel1324. Where can people catch up with what's happening in your world?
You can follow me on Twitter and on Xbox at Axel1324, just how you see it on the screen right now. You can find, I do have a Twitch and a YouTube at Axel1324 Gaming. I'm also the host of the Iconic Video Games podcast with Doggy Dog and Princess Zelda. Newf was actually our host this last week. Be sure to check that episode out. He gives you podcasting 101 lessons. And check it on the replay. And, of course, you can always find me here.
I know, Shaddai. The links to everybody's channels are in the description. I've just stopped putting them up. They never show up properly for whatever reason, the way this chat lumps them together. So underscores don't show up and all that stuff. So I just, you know what, they're in the description. As long as people can find you on Twitter, they generally can find you pretty much anywhere else.
So they don't mess up with Axel's numbers. I got it.
That's right. No, Axel's numbers messed up. 132458-1.
Oh my God.
Sounds like a prisoner's number.
Cerebral Paul, what's happening with you, Mr. Next Level Gaming?
Let's see. You can find me, of course, here on Sundays, and on Mondays I take the day off. And on Tuesdays you can find me on the Retro Renegades. And on Wednesdays you can find Midweek Gaming with Stubbs. On Thursdays you find me on 4GQ TV. On Fridays and Saturdays I help with game night when I'm not playing Forza instead of doing whatever it is they were doing. And of course you can find me on Xbox at Cerebral Paul 924 or 921. God, I hate having those numbers there. And Cerebral Paul 1 on Twitter, and Twitch and YouTube is Cerebral Paul. So there you go.
And last but not least, the Beanied One. It's N7 Day today, guys. If you're a Mass Effect fan, go show some love and support. Coolcat Terri where can people catch up with you?
And you can go ahead and catch me on my Twitter at coolcat_Terri. Otherwise, you can go find me on Twitch, Coolcat Terri, just like you see it right there. I stream Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. to midnight Eastern time, and then Saturdays is usually kind of random. Okay. So go ahead and check that stuff out. I play a wide range of stuff. You can also catch me on Instagram. I go ahead and I post more my like real stuff, not really, not Twitch related stuff. So if you kind of want to see what I'm up to, like I post things on there. Like I like to go to car shows and stuff, so you'll see cars and things like that on there. Kind of whatever I'm kind of into for the day. Go ahead and check that stuff out. I also have a podcast called Just a Glimpse. Search it on Spotify, Amazon, Google, or Apple.
Okay, awesome. Go follow all these people, as I said, descriptions in the chat. And look, we're going to try to keep this intro under 30 minutes. But hey, our intros are never very long. But anyway, you know where to find me, always in the gutter. Obviously, when I'm not here hanging out with this amazing panel, I'm over on Gaming After Dark Tuesday nights at 10 Eastern, 8 Mountain Time with Titan Drago and the Middle-Aged Game Guy. Titan's been a little under the weather. We're not 100% sure he's going to make it back again for this Tuesday night. But I will announce that we have 2 very special guests joining us on Tuesday night, including 108 Dragons TV. Our good buddy Lemon is going to be back with us. Yeah. And we have Dirt Griggity from the We Bleed Green podcast. The 2 of the most charismatic voices in podcasting are going to be with us. So it should be a dynamite show. Can't wait. It's going to be a ton of fun. And thank you for the subscription, Mad Max. We hope you enjoyed today's show. And to all the new people to watch and to all the people that check it out on the replay and subscribe and just like the channel and share it out, we greatly appreciate you. Shares, likes are great. Shares are even better. As I said, we talked about on Axel's podcast on Friday night, the Iconic Gaming Podcast. If you missed it, go check it out. They've got a special little thing happening there that is no console or BS, just all about great games, nostalgia. Fantastic little show they got going on with 3 phenomenal panel people. I guess I said 2 because Axel's basically the host, so he's panel, but he's the host. So Axel, Doggy Dog, Princess Zelda, they got a great thing going there, and I absolutely had a blast on Friday night. It was a much more fun than I even anticipated. Did a great job. Keep up the good work, guys, on that one. So Dirt's a good guy. No Titan, man. I know it's disappointing. At least we don't know. He kind of hasn't indefinitely, but it sounds like he's really under the weather right now. So we'll have some great guests. And I forgot to mention, I guess, to my panel through DMs, but there won't be a Good Morning Xbox next week. Why? Because I'm not going to be available. I'm going to be heading out of province. I'm going to be on a plane early in the morning, heading to Niagara Falls, Canada, where I'm going to meet up with the Middle-Aged Game Guy, believe it or not.
And you know, it's nice of you to meet up with the B Team guy. It's nice of you to meet up with the B Team guy, you know.
Yes, going to meet the Mag finally. This is going to be epic, and that means the Gaming After Dark the week after. We won't have an official Gaming After Dark, but me and Mag, well, with the 2 of us together, we may have something very creative for you. So we'll see what happens, but we'll keep you in the loop. Anyway, guys, it's been a phenomenal show. Fantastic chat as always. Love to the panel, love to the chat. I love everybody who checks out the show on the replay. And take care, everybody, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Awesome. Everybody take care.
Bye, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Oh, there's Titan.